Hello.
Hello.
Do the runners want to do introductions first, or?
Yeah,
Let's
I'm LP3
go ahead and
Cinema.
let them.
And I'm Bamford. We're going to be running It Takes Two. It's a co-op game. I will be on the right-hand side playing as Cody.
And I will be on the left playing as May. We are doing Out of Bounds. The only difference between Out of Bounds and any percent is in any percent you can do something called mini game warps, which is where you trigger a mini game and then warp to it. We're not allowed to do that, but everything else is game.
Interesting. All right.
Alrighty.
We're ready to go
Rob.
with the commentators, right?
Yeah, sure. Rob, you want to do introduction or something?
Sure, we can do that. I'm Rob Seb, and I'm running. I'm commentating along with Dory to let the runners themselves communicate without having to worry about commentating along, which makes it easier for them. And at the same time, we have more people representing It Takes Two, so we can't complain about it.
Puggy. Okay, hi. I'm Dory. I'm going to be commentating as well. Yeah, there's so much to say here, really. If the runners are ready, then we are ready too, I think.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get moved second the countdown's done, right?
I assume.
All right. Then I'm good for a countdown whenever.
Okay. So the timer starts when I hit play chapter, but I'll count it down. All right. 3.
There we go.
There we go.
So we're going to be starting with the first chapter. It's Shed. It's pretty basic. Every chapter has like a bit of a gimmick, but this feels like the tutorial chapter, I would say. Yeah, this game is basically a platformer with a couple of twists and stuff. So right now they're just gonna abuse a bit of the broken movement. It's called a slide jump.
Maybe we could explain how the movement works.
Yeah, okay.
So basically, the very basic movement in the game consists of jumps and dashes. And while in the air or before hitting the ground, you have 2 jumps and 1 dash. But the game developers were kind enough to implement a feature in the game called sliding, where if you are running fast enough and you press crouch, you start sliding forwards. And if you jump while doing that, it results in you jumping really high. And because of that, you can be a lot faster. But the game is not built to work with that mechanic, resulting in if you use it, you can do a lot of stuff that the game shouldn't be allowing you to do.
Yeah, like for example there, they use the slide and then jump out of it to get like a lot of height to go out of bounds, and now they're doing a bit of a climb up to the first boss fight in the game. It's a pretty hard climb, but I'm sure they can do it.
I have faith in our runners.
I'm sorry, what?
I have faith in our runners.
Yeah, of course. Are they the only ones to represent It Takes Two at events? I think so, right? Marathon?
So far, yes.
Puggy.
There we go. Both have made it up the hardest section. I'm unsure who was running which character though. Was Bamford left or?
Bamford plays Cody.
All
At
right.
least if I'm going off of the last time they played. Okay,
I presume
nice.
it hasn't changed, in which case LP3 just made it to this checkpoint, which allowed them to reset. There's a lot of checkpoints in the game that only require one person to get there, and the advantage of that is that you can load it, and then when one person gets it, you reset the checkpoint and both people make it to that point. And this was a prime example of this. Here we have a boss fight. It's kind of challenging if you play it casually. The boss takes 20 barrels before it's killed, and in one cycle you get 10 barrels. And luckily for us, the boss doesn't get too hard until after it spits barrels twice. Meaning that if you do it perfectly, which is not too hard for our experienced runners, You can do it in 2 cycles, and the boss dies before ever getting to a hard phase. This is the second cycle, which should mean health gets down to 0. One of the more cruel parts in the game, we're gonna suck the eyes out of the vacuum cleaner.
Well, you say one of the more cruel. I mean, are they doing something cruel basically anytime? I mean, the game presents itself as like, oh yeah, this is the fun little, we turn into dolls, we are fun, and then they keep on murdering people.
Yes.
It's funny. Anyway, now we're going into the next subchapter. Oh shit, wait, they're already going.
LP3 is no longer moving.
Yeah, I hope they're not disconnected. I hope it's just a controller disconnect or something, because otherwise we would need to restart from the subchapter.
Maybe he really trusts Bamford to complete the subchapter, because it's, again, a checkpoint where only one person needs to reach it.
Yeah, I hope so. It's no biggie though if they do have a bit of a what's it called? If they do have a bit of an issue there, but I think they should be fine. Otherwise, the servers would have like put them out of the game already.
The game unfortunately has a lot of issues with EA servers throwing us out of the game, which is very sad if you're through a run. But it seems like LP3 is moving again, which means they can continue running.
They're right now doing the second boss fight, which you might not be able to see, but they're actually killing the toolbox below them. They are supposed to be like sent to a different room where they do a little chase and then they fight the toolbox, but the hitbox stays loaded in them, so they can just hit an invisible spot in the wall. You know.
Yes. And we've arrived in the last subchapter of the first big chapter. It is one of the shortest chapters in the game. This is a pretty long run. It's also the chapter that causes most of the resets, because most people don't like getting out of this chapter with a bad time.
It should be fine though, as long as they get like... Well, it's fine either way. Yeah, because there's a lot of, you know, places you can mess up. It's like a 2.5 hour run. So.
Yes. LP3 or May on the left side is currently trying to clip through the wall. It's a trick where there's a rail behind the wall, and because you're looking at the rail in front of you, the game thinks it's still reachable. So occasionally you can see the prompt pop up through the wall, and if at that exact moment you happen to press the trigger, you will clip through the wall, but it's hard to pull off. Definitely with controller.
Yeah. I think they just technically reset to make Bamford do it, because it's Bamford playing controller as well.
I think both are playing controller, judging by the camera speeds.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. They actually both got it at the same time.
Cool. Yeah, they're about to do another checkpoint reset, I think, if they don't.
Probably. Yes, considering LP3 fell.
Alrighty, and then we're about done with the first chapter.
Yes.
What? Did Bamford just get the biggest oyster from that,
yes,
or does it just look like
so.
that?
Oh no, they didn't hit the checkpoint. No. LP3 did get it in once though, as did Bamford.
Yeah, they should still be fine. We were
so there's a checkpoint on the rail where Bamford went onto, but unfortunately he landed on the rail just too far, so he missed a checkpoint. There we go, and now he saw saving in the bottom right, meaning they hit it.
Yep, and now we should be ending off chapter 1.
Yes, this is absolutely the last part in chapter 1.
Yeah, now the run really starts. We were talking pre-run, they were like, yeah, as soon as we get out of the shed, we should be fine, so...
Yes. There we go, and the second chapter is called 3. It's where we get out of the shed. Maybe a little backstory on the, well, I'd say lore of this game, but it's just a story game. Basically, May and Cody are a couple, and they have a daughter called Rose. But unfortunately, May and Cody aren't so happy together anymore. So they decide to go for a divorce, and Rose, their daughter, doesn't like that. So she casts a spell over both of them, turning them into a clay and a wooden doll. And together they try to find a way to undo the curse and hopefully become human again.
You say she cast a spell, but really she just cried on them.
It's a spell. It's a spell.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it was just magic. Maybe it was the books are doing something, because she did absolutely use a book to cast a spell. It is without a doubt my favorite character in the game.
Oh no, they're going for airplane strats.
Oh no.
Bamford just threw an airplane at the house for no reason. It doesn't save any time, but he has to wait for LP3 to get up there.
Yes. Both people have to go hang on a lever to create enough weight to weigh her down. So we can get inside of the tree instead of on the outside.
I'm curious, is this movement as brutal as it looks? Because it looked pretty brutal there.
It absolutely is. This is another subchapter notorious for resets. We usually call it Reset Hell, where the first chapter in almost all of the 7 chapters have a really hard trick, meaning that if you don't get it, you immediately reset. And this was one of them. And it seems they now got through it.
The base movement in the casual playthrough is basically fine, but for speedrunning we go for some weird jumps.
Absolutely.
Let's see, did he get the
So this is the first part where both me and Cody get a gimmick. Cody got a gun that's able to shoot honey, which can be used to weigh things down or to let off a small bit of light, and May got a match gun, meaning that she can also cause light or set things ablaze, and most importantly, when both of them combined, if you were to shoot a match into the honey, it creates a big explosion, which can be used to kill some enemies or clear some paths, or any of the above, or all combined.
Yeah, right now they're trying to use their weapons to get up. Oh wait, actually, my stream's lagging behind a bit. Okay, Bam's already up in the out of bounds, so they used the round platform to get up, get a momentum jump, and with that they went, well, a bit far of where they're supposed to be. If you look at Bam's screen, that's on the right side, you can't really see anything out of bounds sometimes. It's almost notorious for the dark out of bounds. But yes. I think they should be fine because they've done this before.
It is slightly easier to do this with May, as May's gun allows, or gives us a bit more light.
Hey, May?
Oh wait, is that bad? Wait. Okay. I didn't know if there was a checkpoint there for that Bam hit or not. Okay.
There isn't. In the 90% category, we would here usually hit a minigame and then teleport both players to the minigame, but that isn't allowed in the out of bounds run.
Because it's MGW. But no, I meant I didn't see if Bam hit the checkpoint there, so I thought he would respawn all the way back. But luckily, he's fine.
Seems LP3 is still struggling with the trick. As I mentioned earlier, if you're sliding and you jump, you get a further jump. But the trick, there we go, he finally got it. We're here trying to do, it's called an oyster boost. It's basically when you're sliding on a really steep slope, you get a lot of speed, and if you then jump, you get a massive boost forward, resulting in the lot of speed we need. But unfortunately, it's only possible in very specific spots in the game because, well, you need that very steep slope. So it's usually a pixel perfect trick. That's why it took a while to pull off. Luckily though, Bamford should be able to open this door on his own. meaning that there isn't actually any time loss.
Exactly, and this part is a bit better to get Cody over there than May, because Cody can scoop up the door as well, and that makes it just fall. He needs to turn this this mechanism twice in order to do the checkpoint reset to get May over there. But if you're May, you can't really, or you need to do a hard jump onto the second one to turn it manually. But now he used the movement very fine.
Yes, there we go. They turned the handle twice, meaning that the boss spawned so we could reload, and then May got teleported over there too. There's actually, which is what they're going for, there's a safe spot for May where she can stand and not get hit. Meaning that the boss will continuously try targeting her and make this boss very easy. Fortunately, they missed one cycle. The boss only charges onto May for 3 times, and they need to hit the boss 3 times. They were only able to hit it twice.
But this is very
unfortunately, they missed another small bit. There we go.
Yeah, it wasn't too slow, it's fine.
No, absolutely not. That's the second sub-chapter in 3 done.
And I want to do everyone's favorite trick.
Yes.
Did you do the walk line? Oh yeah, it seems like. Oh no, never mind.
Seems they're not.
The boost. Oh, that
was
good.
very close.
Yeah. So right here they're trying to get the oyster boost that Rob was talking about off of a very small surface area that
Yes.
it works on to get up there. I think in the last marathon they did that, got it first try. Oh, there we go. LP3's.
There we go. And now we just have to hope Bamford made it too. That's very nice. Now we just have to hope they don't fall, because then they have to do all of this all over again.
Okay,
But so far they're doing fine. Bamford actually got ahead.
And now they're gonna jump into a trigger for the cutscene that's like this purple beam below Bam you can see right now. Oh wow, he just hits the ground.
There we go. Made it into the tube. You can see again in the bottom right, there was a saving icon so they could reload, get both players over there.
All guns should be as handy as this.
Everything has multiple
Now it's a very simple section, close to an auto-scroller,
Nature's
where Cody
Yeah.
steers a boat.
helping us.
May simply has to make sure that there's she explodes all of the. I don't even know what these are. Usually they look like shrimp, but I'm unsure if they're actually shrimp.
I don't think they're true.
No,
I think
presumably
they're
not.
bugs. I think they're some kind of bugs. I don't
No,
know.
that makes more sense in a tree, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's water. You never know.
That's fair. There's also not usually a huge lake of water in a tree.
They look a lot like caterpillars to me.
Yeah, they're probably
Yeah, that's the
caterpillars,
word.
but they're slightly like they give off light. The shrimp don't do that either, so I'm not sure what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, that was a great point. Caterpillars don't emit light, therefore it's not caterpillars. Yeah, this section's pretty free usually. Like you can bump into something, but it doesn't lose that much time. It's basically an auto-scroll. Only the last part, or well, at least for me, the last part I always mess up somehow. There's like a lot of beams that turn into tornadoes. There's a set, but I don't know the set time. Did you go for the MLG one? Ah, I didn't get it.
Unfortunately, as you might have already seen, as soon as May gets close enough to the caterpillars, her aim auto-locks onto them, and then the arrows can't miss. But that doesn't mean you can't hit anything if they're outside of that auto-lock range. So usually, for style points, we try go for the long shots, but it doesn't work out every time.
Yeah,
It doesn't lose or gain any time.
Right here is the tornado section. That's the end of this part, but they should be fine.
Yes, here's the hardest section of the boat, but there is a default path people can follow in order to avoid them, because the tornadoes always make the same movement. Here we go, cleanly dodged the first one.
And that should be golden.
Yes. And we just have to make sure we dodge the last one. And far enough left. But I'm sure these runners know that.
Yeah, they should be good. Wait, what
It's
part's
always
after
narrow.
this one? What part's after
After
this
this,
again?
we now have the cave with the jellyfish.
Oh, yeah. So,
Which
you
is-
can optimize it, but it's pretty much the same every time, right? You
Yes.
just go through it as fast as possible.
So these jellyfish is still one of my most fun Easter eggs in the game. We can jump off the boat and it makes the jellyfish turn red. It's only very
Yeah.
small, but I do
I've-
like it a lot.
I've seen that today for the first time.
I discovered it in my first run because I accidentally fell off.
Nice.
Ah, let there be light.
Here the
Wait,
goal
here-
is to light all the lanterns on the path. They just lit the first one.
Go for the Omega long one, or yeah, no, probably not.
They don't. They opt for safety, which is very fair in a marathon run.
Yeah. You can hit that lantern very far away, but it doesn't auto aim, so it's
Yes.
incredibly hard to hit, in my opinion. Is there a checkpoint reset at the end of this? 'Cause it
Yes.
seems
as
like-
soon as you.
Oh,
Never
oh,
mind.
that's the disconnect.
Unfortunately, EA servers trolled LP3 and Bamford. No luck for them.
I mean, the timer. Wait, did it pause? Oh, yeah.
The endgame timer paused. We have an auto splitter for our game, luckily, which pauses itself on disconnects. So we usually lose a bit of time because, well, obviously they now respawn where the checkpoint was. But we're already very happy the timer automatically pauses when any player disconnects.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're going for their PB here anyway, so it doesn't really matter this time. It doesn't. Well, that's a cool.
I mean, you're always going for your PB.
I mean, yeah. I know, but like, they're not going for like the crazy stuff. Would they be? Just the thing. Would they be going for the wall climb in Snow Globe later in the
I presume not, but we'll see.
Yeah, if they go for that, then they are definitely going for a PB.
I mean, we're now coming up on the first actual auto-scroller part in the game. We have a minute and a half of riding a catfish, which is doing absolutely nothing. Because you can fall off, but it doesn't matter if you die, the catfish just continues.
Right, nature boy.
There we go. It's the first auto-scroller, so we might have some time for donations or whatever, if there is any.
Some kind of catfish.
How does that help us now?
Sylvia?
Catfish.
If you're sure.
I can check to see if there are donations. Nope. Still the most recent, the one about Kirby's.
It's just swimming.
Yeah.
Alright.
Maybe then.
Stay on its back.
What is there to explain about this game? Because we have a bit that I have.
Obviously, this is the hardest section in the game. It's where all our runs die. Yeah, we're still.
Wow, it must be a lot harder than it looks then, huh?
Yeah, for sure. You can see our runners that are sweating.
Yeah, you
No,
die
this
here at
is-
least once. I mean, come on.
But specifically for us runners, we're really happy that sections like this exists when we're running a full game, because that gives us a break to quickly go grab a drink or go to the bathroom or something like this. Because, well, a minute and a half is usually long enough to just do that. We have two like actual auto-scrollers in the game, and one's now at about 20 to 25 minutes, and there's one about an hour and 10, which is, well, pretty nice.
Are we out of bounds again? It's really dark.
No, we're not. This is fully inbounds.
Gosh.
We're trying to find an out-of-bounds skip for the Catfish, and we have found some, but none of them are faster than the current Catfish, so it's not worth it.
I swear, it's the darkest out of bounds I've seen in a game, though.
We have to cross over.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just,
for sure.
There's some levels where it's not as bad, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's unlucky by
This
that.
is the worst part in the game, by far. The collisions on this bridge are horrible. No one likes them. But we have to make it over the bridge. There is a trick to skip the bridge, but it is incredibly hard and not marathon safe. So I do not blame them for not doing it.
Of course. Right now they're gonna be attacked by like a bunch of bees, but there's like 2 safe spots on this thing. I think LP3 is 10. But it's wrong.
No, he's a bit too high.
A bit too far to the right, actually.
So this could be considered an auto-scroller if you really wanted to, because as Dory said, you have a few safe spots, you have a few spots where you can stand, nothing happens, you won't die. But considering you just had one on Catfish, it's not really, like, necessary to take a break.
Well, maybe you need to grab a drink and go to the toilet because you drank from the drink.
Oh, that's fair, that's fair.
Yeah. I don't think the kidneys process that fast, but you know.
Can't be certain. Rather
Yeah.
have an auto-scroller for the bathroom break, right?
Fair. Gosh. Yeah, I bet this auto-scroller really bugs some people, huh?
Oh yeah, it's mostly annoying if because we have the if you're running a full game, then the 1 minute auto scrollers aren't too bad. But considering we also have speedruns for separate chapters, if you're just running this chapter, which has 2 auto scrollers of a minute, in a 20-minute chapter, it's fairly long, and then most people get annoyed at it. But it's still fine with me. Like I still enjoy this chapter. It's one of my favorites personally.
Can't relate.
Yeah, I know.
I play only one chapter, by the way.
Yeah. I know, you play it with me.
I know. Okay, they got past the beetle. Foggy.
There we
Did
go.
they didn't do the fast one, did they?
No, because the beetle is doesn't
Yeah.
want to cooperate.
Yeah, there is a strat that saves like what, a couple of seconds there where you can hit him twice in one cycle, but it's hard. It's still pretty fast if you don't do it that way. This movement on this beetle is actually terrible in my opinion. Like, I never know where to jump, and I always die at least once here.
Yes.
But I think if you play this chapter enough, you should be fine.
The problem with this is that it's like 0.5 seconds faster if you're jumping instead of running. It makes next to no difference, but if you jump off, then you lose easily 10 seconds. So everyone's jumping, right? Because it's a speedrun. Come on, guys.
Yeah, why not go for anything that's risky?
Exactly. It
Right
would be
now
fun otherwise.
they can't fall off anymore, so they can just
No.
jump as much as they can. Does getting hit slow you down? Like if
No,
you
it
hit by a barrel?
doesn't. As long as you don't let the beetle die, it's fine.
I see.
There we go. It's the end of the 3rd subchapter in 3 of the 5. Of which the 4th is just this boss fight, where we're trying to beat the Wasp Queen. Wasp Queen has 5 parts that need to be destroyed using the explosions of both the gimmicks combined. Here currently destroying both of the ones on the front.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what part you need to destroy to be the fastest.
It doesn't matter because the damage is capped.
Nice.
It's usually in the first 2 parts you try to destroy, you have no blockades, meaning that there's nothing in the way of you trying to shoot the parts. So usually we try to destroy at least one of the back parts there, because for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th part you try to destroy, there's wasps forming a shield trying to protect their queen, which you have to destroy before you can get to the part. Which we'll see in a bit. Because now they've just destroyed the 2nd part, which gives us a slight alteration in the fight.
They get into this phase now. There's like a couple of safe spots here too, but I wouldn't know how to get to them. But
yeah,
I mean,
again,
it's not
it doesn't
difficult.
save any time.
Yeah. These are very telegraphed attacks, so it shouldn't have trouble dodging.
There we go. As you can see in front of Cody, there's currently a shield of wasps, which they had to destroy first. They're up to destroy the 2nd back piece now.
Seems that way.
There we go. Oh, they actually failed to destroy it. Which means they'll go for the front instead.
Can't they just go for the back part? Oh well, it doesn't really matter, yeah.
No. Alright. We have another alteration of the fight where we're trying to dodge big scissors of wasps. And after this, we're destroying the 4th and final regular part, which is the one in the top back.
Yep, and then
And after that, we have to destroy the chain that the big queen is hanging off. Sadly, we should normally have another shield here showing up, which is gonna not be extremely beneficial.
there we
There
go.
we go. 4th part destroyed. Now we just have to destroy the chain the queen is hanging from.
That's really the last difficult part of this chapter.
Yes.
Well, there's the fighting game part that's coming up in a
Yes. So we were joking, guys. This isn't an It Takes Two speedrun. In a bit, we're gonna have a Super Smash Bros. Speedrun.
bit. Why did you choose the Smash Bros? That's the least like it. You could have
I
said
don't
like
know.
Tekken or Street Fighter. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's any 2D sideways brawler, right?
I guess. I guess it's more like Smash Bros. And Tekken, but
But before we get there, we first have to fly a plane. It's a plane made by squirrels, and the most important part of it is Cody's dirty underwear
Focus on flying!
functioning as wings.
who wouldn't want to fly that?
Unsure. So here Cody is manning the plane, he's steering it, and May is shooting the gun on top of it, making sure Cody has safe passage. Just barely make it through the first gate.
It seems a bit more tight than it actually is, I think.
Yes. This is the
Right here,
second
you're like,
gate.
oh no, I'm not gonna make it, but it never closes, so you should be fine always. I have crashed through that gate more than once trying to dodge, and then,
Oh yes.
yeah, there's a set path here that's the fastest. You go like right here, and
Yeah.
Top
Everywhere
left.
where there's a split, we have tested every single path possible to figure out which path was the fastest. So they are following the most optimized path. Here we have a split into 3 paths. Top one is the fastest.
One here. There shouldn't be any deviations.
Nope, that was the last one.
Gee, seems like this segment really gives a new meaning to flying by the seat of your pants.
It sure does. Coming up on the end, we have to make it through a few more rooms. And then we have to beat the Commando Squirrel.
1v1.
Yes, this is where the 2D fighter games come into play.
Yeah, this is unofficial lore, but it's actually a wager money match. Okay.
If you want to bet on it, you can always donate.
But it's for a good cause. Oh, they didn't get that. Oh, no,
I
wait,
would
let's
bet
get
on
the
May though, usually she wins.
Yeah, usually.
It's also
Cody.
important to mention, yes, as you were gonna say, you can continue.
Oh yeah, no, Cody has to still steer here. Oh no, oh no, no, no!
Oh no, that is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, so Cody's still riding the plane. So you can't just not touch the controller, you need to actually still dodge it through rain, otherwise you die.
Yep,
That's
but
unfortunate.
every player seems to forget because it's way more entertaining to watch a squirrel get beaten up by a wooden doll.
Actually, true. Okay, there. That can happen, it didn't lose that much time, which was early on in the fight, luckily. Oh, they got the
Squirrel ate shit. There we go. And now because the plane crashed, well, or because May smashed the squirrel onto the plane broke. So we have a Delta Flyer instead.
Very cool. You can both control this, but you could also have one person in the middle and just let some do the work.
This
Usually
is the very
May.
last part in 3.
May always does the work. Also, yeah, we're about to get into my favorite chapter, Rose's room. Oh, well, at least casually.
Yeah, I do have to agree.
Yeah, you have to agree. I mean, it's cool. There's so much to do. So much.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Casually, it's probably one of my favorite chapters too. For speedruns, it's not.
No, it's terrible. I hate it. I'm gonna say
I mean, you
that
hate every chapter
so
except
good.
for the 5th one.
Okay. They should be getting along here. The chapter is about that. Wait, isn't going to the left there faster?
I see most people go for the left, but maybe LP3 and Bamford have secret tactics we don't know about.
Probably.
It could be a case, who knows? I went to the right here on my casual playthrough.
Yeah, me too. I mean, either way, it would probably lose, like, not that much time.
No,
it's the same
definitely not.
distance.
There we go. That's the end of 3. We're now getting into Rose's room, where we're gonna run around Rose's room. What a surprise.
She has a big room, I must say. I mean, look at this. Who has this many pillows? Oh.
I wish I had that many pillows.
This is also, I think, the shortest subsplit in the game, right? Or is it the one at the beginning of 3? Because right here, they're just
I'm trying to
moving
think.
along here.
No, I don't think this is the shortest.
Huh? Because it's done already. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, no, they need to do this part.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's close, though, because they're
We're
almost
here.
done with an entire subsplit.
Yes, we're here busy hacking the PC, but the game doesn't actually let you hack the PC. Unfortunately, we get counter-hacked. We can't win the battle. Our opponent is too strong.
Yeah, the monkey is too strong.
Never seen a hacking UI quite like that.
Here we get introduced to our second gimmicks.
Oh, Bam doesn't go for the jump. Nice. There's a jump you can do there with Cody, so that May doesn't have to hold on, but it doesn't really matter. Wait, what strat are they going for here?
It's oop, it's not any percent, they can't minigame warp.
Yeah, but don't they still do the thingy in oop? Oh, I'm dumb, I watched the wrong run then. I think I watched any percent.
Oh no, it's fine. But basically, we have new gimmicks here, as mentioned. May has gravity boots, which allow her to walk on walls and on the ceiling, if there's a buff that allows for it. And Cody got a, I think it's a belt, that allows him to, or well, technically, I think it's a bracelet, but because it's so small, he can wear it as a belt, and allows him to shrink or grow. Where if he shrinks, he's able to pass through small gaps, and if he grows, he's able to, well, smash big things.
Exactly. Oh wait, no, I just skipped in the run to this part. Never mind. Just don't do the minigame warp. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a bit of a bug with the rocket right there that LP3 hit. So now he's walking upside down where he's not supposed to be walking upside down. They're gonna skip essentially 3 sub-splits, I should be saying. It's like small levels inside of this sub-split, and they're just abusing a bug and then skipping basically all of this split.
The goal of this chapter is to climb a massive tower, but as you can imagine, if you're upside down, falling down is pretty easy. We have to do it a few times.
Bam on the right is gonna do another glitch here where there's what's this thing called again? I always forget what they're called. The conductor, yeah, there. Thank you. He's gonna take the conductor to the main lobby where it's not supposed to be, and he's gonna do some weird stuff with it. Oh, there we go. He got it. He's gonna run under it and grab it while he's growing, and then for some reason you get like crazy momentum because it thinks you're small, but you're actually. Wait, how does it work, Rob?
Yes. So basically, what we're trying to do is we're gonna trick the game into thinking we're small while we are actually normal size, because you have the beams in the middle that allow you to transport, but you can only be inside of them while you're a normal size. Because of that, you can't get enough momentum to make it all the way up there. But because of a glitch with the conductor, we can trick the game into thinking that we're small, or well, thinking that we are a regular size while we're actually small, which makes our weight less, so we can get way more momentum using the beams as a means of getting up, resulting in Cody getting a lot of speed upwards and then being able to make it. And May, on the other hand, can go travel sideways and just run up the tower, which is what she did in the meantime.
That was pretty clean. And right here, there's another boss fight. They are fighting a big space monkey.
This is, I think, the longest boss in the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, maybe that's. Well, it depends.
A bit.
Well, no,
it has 3 phases.
Does it have 3 phases? Well, I'm dumb.
No, you can see it on the top.
4.
Well, yeah, it has 4. Yeah, you beat it once and then you have to beat him again. Because this first phase we're actually trying to beat the UFO and not Moon Baboon himself yet. And then we have a 4th phase where we try fighting Moon.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, it's not as long as I thought it was. It seems that long if you're playing Cody though, and you don't go for the cool strat because you're not cool. No, I wonder.
We'll see. They go for it.
Yeah, there's a really cool strat here where you basically jump on platforms you can't see to basically skip an entire, what's it, like 30 seconds of gameplay?
Yes.
But it's once Cody enters the UFO, so that's like, you still have a phase to go.
We just finished the first phase of the fight. Now we're gonna pull off the laser, so it can't hurt us anymore. And instead, Moon Baboon is gonna start shooting rockets at us, which we can use in turn to destroy his UFO. As you can see, after a while they just land on the ground, then we can mount it.
Yeah, I think
Two shots.
those rockets, their controls on them are inverted. So if you play this casually, there is a chance you just die.
Yeah, it
A
makes
lot.
sense like that on controller because it's regular joystick movement for a plane, right? Like if you pull backwards, it goes up, but unfortunately, it's counterintuitive on keyboard. Because if you press backwards, you also move up.
Yeah, I played as a controller in casual and I still died.
It can happen. It's the second phase completed, meaning that now Cody is inside the UFO. He's trying to get to a button that allows him to eject Moon Baboon out of the UFO itself.
And here's the cool jump you're talking about. Let's see if they... no, they don't go for
No,
it.
they don't.
I mean,
It's not
I
marathon
get
safe.
it. Yeah, I mean... With a lot of practice, it might be. But it's totally understandable.
Cody just barely made it.
Yeah.
There's a small trick in the inside of the UFO where if you ground pound onto the ground, for some reason you get a massive speed boost forward, but it's not very usable because it usually results in you dashing off of the edges and falling to your death, which loses time. But Bamford made it through without dying, which is pretty successful. This is the fourth and final phase in the fight. We've ejected Moon Baboon from his own UFO, so we've taken it over. We've also magically repaired the laser we pulled off in the first phase.
Wait. I never noticed that. What? Okay, that's... Wait,
It makes no
actually-
sense. It makes no sense that laser is back, but it is back. And it's here to help us. We're trying to convince this monkey that we're not gonna hurt our own daughter, and we're doing that by shooting him with his own laser.
Yeah, we make
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, as you can see, this is a perfect example of good parenting. The plan they came up with, by the way, is in order to break the spell, they want to try make their daughter cry on them again, in hopes of... So, the spell was originally cast by their daughter crying on top of the dolls. So now they're hoping that by her daughter crying on the dolls again, it might undo the spell. So their grand plan is to make their daughter cry.
I don't know why.
I see nothing
Which
wrong
is-
with that.
Yeah, which is what Moon Baboon, the space monkey, was trying to prevent.
Okay, here is a checkpoint reset if they... Yeah.
Yes.
Right here, there's an entire section where you have to like co-op, move a lot of blocks around, you know, work together really. But you can also just jump off and go onto a different railing and then do everything yourself. Oh, that looked
There we go.
really close.
And on the other rail, we have a checkpoint reset again. If you first get high enough, then make it back.
That's fine.
Here we go. And now we're gonna do homework. I hope all
Are
of you
we?
can still do mods. And
Wait,
if not, that's great because we found a skip for it. We no longer have to do mods.
yeah, I was about to say, are they going to actually be doing it? Okay. Yeah, because of the non-intended slide jumping, we can just jump off of this table. You should usually be able to clear it. Oh, I think Bam got this first try. That was really close.
So we have to do 3 tables of homework. And usually if you finish the homework, then the table opens and sends you towards the next one as a catapult.
Also,
Because of the slight jump, as Dory said, we can just make it to the last one.
also to note, you skip an insane amount of stuff here if you play 80% instead of out of bounds, but they're playing out of bounds, so they get to do all these cool
Yes.
small rooms, like rolling the cheese. Oh my, that was
That was
really
very close. I'm glad they made that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you skip like 6 rooms if you play any percent here.
Yes. We'll mention it again, but basically, on the part earlier, right before the homework where they got on the rails, they could have gone out of bounds there and then done a 30-second section-ish. And then they would have gotten into a minigame, and we'll mention when they get to that minigame. Because it's a big part they managed to skip. All of this you wouldn't have to do.
Yep, but now you can give the mouse this cheese. Oh no, wait, you can't give the mouse this cheese actually, because the mouse is stuck to a rope. Wait, do you?
Yeah, he pulls the rope far enough so he can eat the cheese.
Oh,
And with that, the door opens.
Do you do the cool thingy here? Ah, they do it. You can, if you know where the next block is gonna be, you can like alternate players. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that's not great either. But they
No,
managed. There we go.
they should be fine, yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately, there's a lot of invisible walls here, so you're required to make it to each block before going to, like, you can't immediately jump to the ending. Here we go. Both players have to pull a lever in order for the next door to open.
These rooms are all mandatory. There's nothing, no way you can get like poop here or something to skip the rooms.
Yes, because all the you might see that we have a lot of the saving icons which allow us to reload, but unfortunately every single one of these requires the previous one to be done. So you have to do all of them, unless you go any percent and you use the minigame.
Yep.
There we go. We're getting pretty close to where the any percent would be. We have to turn 2 wheels here, and then they are at the same spot. Because for some reason, when you turn these wheels, the save point you get from it is way further ahead.
And now they unlock something that should be dead. Fidget spinners in 2021. What's this?
Still exists.
We won't see them for long though, because there's an entire section here that they just the fidget spinner section they just skip it entirely. So this is the last you'll see of them.
It's a very short section. Instead, we'll make it into a kaleidoscope, which is very trippy.
Yeah, warning for anyone that's sensitive.
Yeah, if you have epilepsy, maybe don't watch for the next 5 minutes.
Well, it's not 5 minutes, is it? I mean, it depends if they get. Okay, they got this, or they should.
They do make it. So normally you would make it inside of this tube, but obviously as speedrunners we found a trick that allowed you to do it faster than inside of the tube by going on top of the tube and then dying twice.
I guess that works. Oh gosh, that's really trippy. Dude.
It only gets worse from here, don't worry. We got you covered.
You're gonna be seeing everything 2 times.
Yes. We now are in the mirror room, which for some reason mirrors the movements of me, but it doesn't mirror the movements of Cody. I still don't know why they programmed it this way, but it's how the game functions.
Yeah. I have nothing to add. Sometimes the game works in some kind of way. I think it's fun.
The most trippy room. There we go.
Lord. I still get motion sickness from this one. It's so much
and they don't even go for reset, meaning the trippy carries over.
Oh gosh.
The last part in the kaleidoscope. They're trying to climb the tower.
Do they go for the swaggy thing? No, they don't. You can grab those two. What are they even? The things you push. I think handles. You can grab them from below the ground and it zips you up, but it doesn't really save any time.
It saves like 0.3 seconds.
I mean, in a 2.5-hour run, you gotta take what you gotta take.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you miss it though, you lose like 4 seconds. But that doesn't matter. We never miss.
I mean, the train station is one of the shortest sub-chapters in the game.
Oh yeah, this is an entire chapter.
Yes.
So we entered this about like 10 seconds ago, and we're going to leave it right now. Wait.
Oh no, they messed up. We'll have to
can
reset.
they?
No.
Yeah,
have
they
to
can
reset.
grab it. Yeah. Do they not know?
Well, hold
Where are
on.
they going?
I think he's gonna check if the other doll you can pick it up or not. Oh no.
They're trolling.
I think they're having a bit of fun.
Okay,
Yes,
there
we go. So basically, the goal here is to get an engineer to spin a wheel and then use 2 dolls to let them kiss. But we can trick the game into thinking that one of the dolls is in both the positions at the same time. But unfortunately, it stops you from picking up any of the dolls afterwards. So if you don't manage to pick it up again, you have to do reset, which is what happened here.
Yeah, it's still fine though, because it's such a short split, it doesn't really lose any time if you don't, you know, troll for a bit.
Hey, they're allowed
Coming
to
up
have a
is-
bit of fun.
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, this entire run is fun though. Apart from, well,
Apart from
What-
all the chapters you don't like?
you know, Snow Globe's fun.
Yeah, Snow Globe is fun. This is Dino Land. You
I
can
really
see...
like Dino Land. Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You can talk too. I've been talking a lot, but
Yeah,
we're
no.
casting with 2 of us, you know.
I know. Wait, it takes 2 to cast. Holy shit.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, I didn't know like this. My bad. Anyway, yeah, no, this is Dino Land, so basically you just cooperate here. Someone goes on the small dino. Is it always Cody that goes on the small one, or can you
No,
go
both
on
can
with
do
us, mate?
both.
Oh, okay, I don't know. So yeah, you just with Cody, you hit these thingies and it the switches, and it makes them turn around. And if you stop them with May, you can like keep one facing this way. But they basically already did all of it, and now May is gonna be doing one cool jump here onto, well, out of bounds. Is it out of bounds? It's not really.
It is out of bounds because we're
Okay.
using an invisible box. That's not allowed in bounds. Oh, she missed it first try because the gap is smaller than it looks.
Did they get it all the way up?
Yeah. To the right side, not the left.
Yeah, it's a bit more right. Okay,
There
that's
we go.
fine, Yeah.
Oh, what happened
there's
there?
a death
I've never
point there?
seen that.
I
I
haven't
don't think
seen
I've
it
ever
either.
seen that.
Okay, well, they have discovered the death plane. Okay, now we are fine.
Oh,
Wait,
no, we're not. We're not. Work in progress, work in progress.
it's all good though. This is a pretty finicky jump.
Yes.
There we go. Turning the camera
There we
helps
go.
a lot.
And now we're standing on an invisible box very shortly and then making it to the handle on top. And with that, we finish Dino Land and make it onto the worst sub-chapter in the game for me.
Well, I mean, yeah, it depends what your ping is, right?
To me, it is, regardless of ping, the worst sub-chapter in the game.
Oh, you just don't like it.
No. It's
Okay.
called Pirates Ahoy. It's going fine, Falls. They've had some slip-ups here and there, but they're doing fine overall. Yeah, they just made it to Pirates Ahoy. It's a part where, as Dory mentioned, if you're living far apart and trying to run together, and you have a lot of desync, it is easily the worst part in the entire game, because the ship isn't always lined up in the same direction for both players, making aiming at things with the cannons pretty hard.
I mean, the cannons can go different ways, right? But for me, it hasn't really ever been a problem with any NA people. I don't know. It's not that
Yeah.
big a deal. I
I've
think
had
it only,
problems.
well, it's only really at the boss fight at the end of this where you, like, sometimes you whiff a shot because your ship looks like it's gonna hit, and then it's...
Yep. It's the first part of Pirates Ahoy. Now we have to destroy 3 tiny ships.
I think going forward here instead of standing still is faster. I don't know.
No, not really, because then it's longer for the ship in the back.
I mean, they are pretty much in melee range there right now. I wouldn't know. I don't play this chapter enough.
It's more or less the same.
Yeah.
It saves 2 seconds fast.
Now they're gonna go into the penguin section. I like the penguin section.
It's the only section of Pirates Ahoy I can tolerate. Because there is cute penguins on the side.
Yeah.
Can't argue with cute penguins.
Heartless people shoot those penguins, but it doesn't do anything. They're just too strong. Does going right here? Yeah, it's going left
faster.
Going left is like going against the current, right?
No, not really. It's just a longer path.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Might be. I don't know what I'm talking about.
In front of us, we can already see the next boss in the background, which you, well, could have seen a few times already. We're gonna fight the giant octopus plushie.
We're stuck! It's a whirlpool!
And if they get this really well, they can kill him in 2 cycles. If they don't get it as well, they can get it in 3 cycles.
Yes.
Or 4, but I think
I'm
they should be
expecting
fine.
3. The default is 3, and if you're lucky, you can get 2.
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, where it's perfect on your screen, but desync can make it so someone misses a shot. But even though you did your part perfectly, the servers kind of messed it up.
I
But
think they're good on damage at the moment, though, for a 2 cycle. I'm not entirely sure.
they're close, I think.
We'll see. I'm hoping it's not 1 shot left.
Yeah, that's
Phase where they can shoot.
this looks
They can get
good.
1 shot in before it dives under again. It's
Ooh.
guaranteed. We'll see. They can kill him in the next cycle. It's the fastest possible. Otherwise, they'll lose like 20-30 seconds. First get knocked up again.
Now I'm starting to feel sick too.
Let's see. Can they kill the giant octopus?
Oh, yes!
Let's
Oh
go.
my god!
They did.
That was literally the last shot they were gonna hit, I think.
For sure. It's always this fight.
There we go. Now we have the worst sub-chapter in the game. Done.
That was done. Luckily, we got that over with. We're gonna move on to the circus.
Isn't it called like the greatest show or something?
It is called the greatest show, but it's a circus,
Yes,
let's be real.
I know my stuff about this game. Did he go for? Okay, yeah, they go for this jump.
Yes.
There's
So
2 ways to
here
do this. Oh, yeah, no, you can.
You go
for it.
ahead, you go ahead. I
No,
talk
they
a lot.
both. Yeah, I know. It's fine. Yeah, no, they're basically you're supposed to get like this marble around everywhere, but you don't really need to do it. You can just jump over some stuff and then get a checkpoint, and then the marbles magically with you. So that's fun. Also, we're gonna hit these 3 balloons here. If they time it correctly, that should be good.
Yes. One
This
more.
This is my least favorite part in the entire chapter.
That's too high. Unfortunate.
Really close.
Should hit
It's
it though.
good.
There we go. Now we'll make it across a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And then we'll
What
catch up
Ferris
with the
wheel, you
marble
might
again.
ask? Oh, there we go. There is a Ferris wheel.
Yeah, magic Ferris wheel raising out from the ground, as it does in children's rooms.
Of course. Did you never get the magical Ferris wheel when you were a kid?
No, I wish.
I don't like what the camera's doing here. It always shakes so much, and I get really anxious. Like you're gonna fall out what you do.
But they made it over. It's all fine. You were gonna see another trick. We're trying to get the marble over to the other side, and usually you do that by May and Cody swinging towards each other and then tossing the marble. But we have found another trick. Because the edges of the platform don't register as you being on the platform. When you jump towards those from another platform, you can trick the game into thinking you're still on the other platform. So if you respawn, as Bamford just did, you will teleport to the other platform while still holding the marble.
Is
And
it
then we
worth?
can load it into the catapult.
Is it worth doing it if you can't get it consistent? Because I
It's
don't know how
always
much.
worth doing it.
Yeah, I don't know how much
Yeah.
it saves.
The swinging is really slow.
Okay.
So we've lowered the bridge, so our cart can continue. We have 3 parts left. To update a bit on the story, in order to try make their daughter Rose cry, they've decided on destroying her favorite toy, called Cutie, which is the queen elephant of the castle, which they're now infiltrating. Again, prime example of good parenting over here.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want it anyway. Who wouldn't want their favorite? Wait, what's the elephant to be destroyed?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's my favorite childhood memory when my parents destroyed my favorite toy.
You know, I see why things couldn't be going how they're going. I see why they're getting a divorce. Wait, did we mention? Yeah, I think we did.
I did mention, yes.
Okay, Hoggy. So here we're just gonna try and break open the gate with a big bowling ball. It can take 3 or 4 hits. I don't know what it depends on. I think it's random.
No one does. We still
Yeah.
don't know why. Or at least, I don't think anyone does. I don't, for sure. Seems it takes 4 this time.
Yep. It takes 4. Oh no. Wrong game, buddy.
2 more parts left in Rose's room. Skull
Okay,
Dungeon
they're-
Brawler.
Are they gonna go for the new one? Do you think? There's like 2 out of bounds things you can do here.
They probably will. Oh, they won't.
Yeah, that's right. This one's way better because it's easier.
It is easier, but it is slower.
Well, you know, we got the 0.3 second time save earlier in the run. I don't remember what we
True.
were talking about. Oh no, wait,
And they
we
got
didn't
2
get it.
cycle. They got 2 cycle on Octopus.
Yeah, it's fine. So you're not supposed to be able to climb up those rocks, but it just so happens that, well, yeah, you can.
It's possible, so speedrunners will do it. Let's be real.
Also, they are literally walking on nothing, and they only have a few visual cues here to like indicate where they're going.
Yes.
But it's not as hard as it looks, in my opinion, once you know
There
where
you
you're
go.
going.
But they made it through the one corridor they could fall in.
Well, can't you still fall like further into the section of the baking doll? If you're like
Yes.
really bad, like me.
Yes. There we go.
Yeah.
And now we're back in bounds. Now we get a crazy doll chasing you. So we're gonna try run away from it as fast as possible.
Why did you buy that creepy toy for Rose?
They shouldn't really have any trouble here.
No.
Oh boy, a chase segment.
Sorry, what?
Sorry?
Oh boy, a chase segment.
Yeah, this hasn't happened before.
No, it wouldn't happen ever.
They can use their ults here to clear these pillars real quick.
Yes, and once the pillars are gone, the bridge will drop and the crazy doll is no more.
Whoa, that looked super close. Does it always end up looking like that?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, it
because the
does.
doll speeds up at the end, because it makes it to the end before the bridge drops.
What? You know, pretty big and scary, who eats prisoners.
And now now time to fight the immortal troll, which doesn't appear to be immortal after all, but
Wait, is it called the Immortal Troll?
it is called the immortal troll.
It dies in like 4 hits.
Well, technically it doesn't die. We just drop it in some hot lava and we never see it again. So it could survive.
I mean, you have a point. Right here, you just need to charge into the pillars to open the middle, and then you want to jump into the middle.
Yes.
This is not that hard.
Oh, they're getting trolled.
They're getting
No.
So that has
Troll
happened
decides
to
to
us.
run on air again. Oh, there we go.
Coming up next is a fun boss fight.
Yes, and it's
I
also
really like it.
one of the few fights that is entirely RNG based. To see how fast it is.
These both of these
Because-
have a. Oh yeah, no, you can go for it.
Because here both the king and the queen have a hitbox you can hit, and the queen moves entirely randomly and the king moves towards a player. So in order to have both of them together, you're hoping that the queen doesn't move too far. So you can move to the queen and then you're the king towards the queen.
Yeah, you should always be going for the queen. I think Bam is just going for the king here, but yeah. If you go for the queen, you can get them stacked on top of each other and then use your AoE area of effect abilities to hit both of them at the same time. You can't
We
kill
have
one
a-
before the other, by the way, because you have like a shared health bar, they don't have.
Yes. We have a request for a queen skip in the chat, which is a joke in our community. It was one of our best runners was explaining the run to someone else. They tricked him into thinking that we could skip a certain part of the game.
Oh my gosh.
Two.
We have to make Rose cry.
But it was brilliant. It worked amazingly.
Yeah, coming up next is not my favorite part in the game, casually, I should say.
We'll finally execute the great plan of good parenting. Time to destroy their daughter's favorite doll! Yay!
I thought you were gonna say we were gonna execute someone else, because it would work too in this context. We are going to slowly drag Cutie, who's like asking for forgiveness, like please just let me live. We're gonna slowly drag her off of this huge cliff and throw her off, because that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what all parents are supposed to do.
Playing this casually is heartbreaking because you don't want to do this. Cutie wants to give you like tea and wants to like play games with you, and you're like, nope.
Nope.
Gotta make her cry.
Yeah, gotta make our daughter cry so we get cured. But
Right?
spoiler alert, if you look at the timer and the expected time, it's not gonna work.
Not quite, though. We still have like half of the game, even more left. More than half of the game left. But it'll work out eventually, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. We don't know yet, or at least the viewers don't know yet if it's not gonna work because somehow this doesn't make their daughter cry, or because it doesn't break the spell.
Yeah, that's. It would be hard. It should be hard to just like, oh yeah, nah, my toy broke. I'm not gonna cry. She will in fact cry, but it won't work. I mean, we're gonna skip the cutscene either way, so we won't see it.
Yes.
I know we are on to the second part of the game. The crying didn't work, so now we have to learn to live with each other through 4 missions. The first one, inside of her clock.
Yes. So Rose wrote a letter to their parents stating how they could break the curse. But unfortunately, the book, which we will see very little of due to skipping every single cutscene, tore the letter into 4 pieces, which they now have to earn back through therapy.
Through therapy.
Yes, and the first one, in order to get back together, is they should spend more time with each other. So this entire chapter is based around time. It's also where May and Cody both get another new gimmick. May gets a cloning device where she can leave a clone of herself behind somewhere and then teleport back towards it. And Cody gets a clock that allows him to control certain parts of the map and turn back or forward their time in order to maybe rebuild something that's broken or lift a bell that's fallen, like you can see here.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. It used to hang up there, and now it doesn't. But I think it's weird. The first thing you do with your power. Well, no, never mind. You're supposed to like lift up some rubble, but we skip that by going out of bounds. Do they do my insane strategy here? Oh no, they don't. the double fire. Yeah, okay, there we go. They can extinguish like both top and bottom flames at the same time. I think that's one of the only contributions I've done to the game, and it saves like a second.
No, the only contribution I've done is in chapter 6, which was still a while off.
Look at that handsome wooden guy go.
He is quite
Yes.
handsome, actually.
There we go, pressing both buttons, preparing the bridge.
Where
The
is
entire
Bamford?
spiel of this chapter is to lead the small dolls, representations of their human bodies, through a cuckoo clock. And if they manage to do that and fix the clock in the process, then they will earn the first letter piece back.
All right. Now, to just
Right here, they have to just turn both of the pointers 180 degrees. It's always the same. They don't spawn in the same locations. It's just always 180 degrees.
No, it's based on your real clock time.
I did not know that.
So if you
Wow.
were paying close attention, you might now know what time zone LP3 or Bamford, whoever is hosting, lives in. Big spoilers.
I think Bam is hosting.
I don't know.
Wow.
Wait, Rob. Wait. Look at the top of the screen. Oh no, it's gone.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
seen it
they
already.
Did you misspell it?
No, I didn't. It's fine, I can live with it. What Dory's referring to is that my name is indeed misspelled in one of the things on the top.
It's funny. Now you're gonna be run sad because you're a speed runner.
Oh yeah, for
It
sure.
fits way better.
I'll make it like an emote in my own stream at some point.
Might as well change your name.
Okay,
Oh,
maybe changing my name is a bit over the top.
Maybe we should be talking about the game. Yeah, so there's 2 big mob towers they should be going to, completing like
Yes.
little mini gauntlets, which you can skip part of. I don't know why Bam isn't going yet. You can use the slide jump to get some distance you're not supposed to. That's unlucky for LP3, but it's okay.
Make it
Yeah,
this time though. There we go.
Takes his long jumps really late. There we go. Now this is the first clock tower. Do you know if it's on a global timer or if it's like a chapter timer or what it's on? Because it's always different in my eyes when I enter.
The timer for it starts, I think, together with the cutscene, like right before you jump on the birds.
Ah, I see. Okay, I don't know. There's a second tower. There's a pattern here you need to decipher, but it's the same every single run through. So if you just know the pattern, you can just hit the buttons in order.
Yep. It's only 6 buttons, so it's not too hard to remember either. Definitely because you only need to remember 3, since your partner does the others.
Oh,
Here we go. Doors opening.
Well, I thought I'd make time.
For some reason, Cody's camera pans around here. I think it's because you're supposed to be on different sides,
Yes.
and it's supposed to show the other player. But yeah, you're not both supposed to be on that side, but it works.
Now we'll destroy the second tower. That will allow us to drop the shield in the middle, so now both dolls can travel inside.
Yep, and they will be about done with the first sub-split, right?
Yes.
Once they enter the big build.
This is also where we see one of the coolest uses of Maze Clone, in my opinion. The very start of the next chapter. It's where we're gonna be put into a crushing chamber, so all the walls are moving towards us. But considering May can teleport to a clone, you can put a clone up against the wall, and then once the wall travels over it, you can travel through it by teleporting to the clone.
Hey, do something!
Which you're gonna see right here. You can see May running up to the wall, placing a clone, waiting till the wall passes over, and then teleporting towards it.
Yeah, if you haven't died on this once casually, you're actually Albert Einstein. I didn't get this. I died like 5 times. I was like, what am I supposed to do? I don't
Yeah.
get it. Then I remember, ooh, we have superpowers in this game. That's right.
Here we have another really hard part in the game. It's called Hold Right. We have about 30 seconds of just walking to the right side. Nothing else happening. Enjoy the scenery.
You
Oh
can,
my
maybe
god,
if you're,
such a hard strat.
if you're really fast, right? You can like put your phone on your right arrow key and then go grab a drink and go to the toilet. But, like that's advanced.
I wouldn't recommend it. We have an auto-scroller coming up somewhat soon. So if you can hold it out for like 5 more minutes, you can just have the auto-scroller.
But it's a flex. Gotta do what you gotta do. Coming up next is one of the coolest runs of the entire game, in my opinion.
Yes.
You'll see. You'll see what the person on the left, LP3, will do. They'll basically skip an entire boss fight by doing some crazy jumps with the clones.
Unfortunately, Cody is entirely useless
Yep, because
for this
Cody
part.
can't put down clones, so
Yes.
you can't get the extra height.
Yes, because when May teleports to one of her clones, she's able to get a small boost upward, small boost in height with it. So because of that, May can make some even further jumps while in this chapter.
Okay, nice. You actually nailed that jump.
You can see LP3 using the clone a lot here to get that small bit of extra height whenever needed. It's also used as a safety option. When you don't make a jump, you have the clone as
there we go.
used now. Just teleport
Oh,
back
no.
to...
Just run off it. You don't need to do a slide jump.
It's
Oh,
fine,
LP3.
that's why you put down the clone.
I mean, I guess so.
There we go.
Yeah, we could go into detail on every single jump they do here, but it's a complicated bit.
Yeah, here we have a lot of invisible boxes you have to try and jump around. I don't think that's made it, but we'll see.
Oh,
Oh, did they? They might
I
have
think
made it?
so. They can just... Oh, nice. Oh, wait, never mind. I thought they were
Yes.
snapping.
No, they did make it. There we go.
Nice. Crazy.
It appears the LP3 is indeed a god.
Oh, okay. No. LP3, please.
Come on.
Just place a clone. No, that's gonna hit your head. Oh no. They did basically all of the hard parts.
He's made it now.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. We made it on
Now,
top.
we essentially
Wait, where is
skip
he?
like... Oh no.
Did he drop down again?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, that's very unlucky. Now they have to, I think...
Yes, now Cody's gonna
Redo.
grab the key.
Oh yeah, no, they're just gonna do this regularly now, right?
Yes, and now Cody's gonna put in the key. Unfortunately, LP3 didn't make it. He was really close.
That's... I'm guessing nerves. because I think
Probably.
they had probably all of the hard jumps there. I mean,
Yeah, they did hit all of the hard jumps.
I can speak about this trick all I want. I haven't hit it once. I've gotten close. Wait, do they not
So
need
they'll
to turn
instead-
the...
No, because they'll first go
Oh
grab
no,
the
yeah,
other key now.
this one. Yeah.
So this is actually the intended way if you play the game casually. Where you're supposed to grab both keys from both sides. And then, with both keys, you can let a knight turn a key and advance to the next section.
I haven't seen anyone do it the way Bam just did it. Wait, huh? Oh yeah, wait, does it always reach this slow? Yeah, never mind, it does.
Yes. There we go. Second key is inside the cage.
Quick. Oh, never mind. I thought we were gonna do the death abuse. It doesn't really save any time.
No. Now they just have to turn both keys. And then unfortunately they'll also have to do the boss fight.
Yeah, it
Where we
loses a
have to
bit of
fight.
time, but I mean, it's in the
It's
marathon
fine.
setting. Yeah,
Yeah, now we can show off the boss fight, otherwise you never get to see it.
yeah, exactly. Maybe this gets you hooked on it, on the game.
We're gonna fight a mechanical bull.
I'm not really red. I'm more like orange.
I don't think the bull
Uh,
cares, Cody.
You shouldn't have any trouble with this. I mean, if you've played the game casually once, the fight doesn't really change.
Nope.
It's just drop the thing on his head 3
Here
times.
we go. That's 1 out of 3 hits.
That stone plate. I can hurt it.
The one annoying part about this fight is that once you beat it, it is the laggiest section in the entire game.
Yeah, I always thought it was on my end until I watched someone else run it with the exact
No.
same thing, and I was like, oh, okay, that's good then.
It's
There's
a
like a
lot
lot
of
of-
particles being spawned because basically the entire place breaks down.
All of the rubble is like loaded in 4K or something, I don't know.
Oh no.
Oh no. They, okay,
Second time.
I thought Bam died as well. I was about
No.
to be really sad.
Bam keeps dropping the bull into LP3 because
Wait,
of
really?
the bull. Yeah. There we
Okay,
go.
there we
That's
go.
the third hit. Bull
Here
destroyed.
comes the leg.
It's down.
Oh.
Here comes the leg.
That
It's
That's
not
fine.
bad, but
Oh,
They
for
have good
damage, actually,
GPUs.
Yeah.
Chalice.
for damage, actually going crazy well. There
Here we go.
And
And this is the part where they would have gotten to.
exactly, if they just hit the skip, very unlucky.
You will see May phase through walls here a bit due to
Yeah.
desync, but they did make it.
Also,
Which
the
is
main
the worst
animation looks funny here, the push, because... Oh no, wait, is LP3? Okay, never mind, yeah, the animation is funny. If you're Cody and you're looking at May right there, like, she doesn't really move it, she just kind of phases forward. They didn't do the cool strat. But it doesn't save any time. You can basically use a clone jump to get up there a little bit earlier as May, but it's fine.
Now
Here
we have a semi-auto scroller.
it's auto-scroller for one person.
Yes.
have a good feeling about
As
this.
long as not both people die at the same time. This is technically an auto scroller.
There we go.
There we go. LP3 already setting the good example.
I'll be free going for a pee break real quick.
I mean, after this we have a small section of like 30 seconds to a minute, and then we have an actual auto scroller.
Oh yeah, wait, that's right. I forget that's in the game. I mean, is it an auto-scroller? You don't really
It is an
scroll.
auto scroller. Well, yeah, you don't have the scrolling part. It's auto.
It's auto
It's just
gameplay.
auto. But yes, we're here trying to dodge the arms of the clock while the clock is traveling upwards.
This section should be about done in a bit.
You can see
Or-
the dolls on the outside are moving towards the front, and once they reach the front, then we know we're at the top. We'll also soon see a door pop up in the top middle of the screen, which is what we want to travel through.
There we go.
This
Another
isn't how a
indicator.
clock usually moves.
No, it's absolutely not.
No, it's just going counterclockwise. You know, maybe it's upside down. Who knows? Wait, would that fix it? Never mind.
No, absolutely not.
Wait, I am actually the smartest individual.
Here we have to make it through a small rope swing section.
Oh, Bam looks on good pace to get the fast
No.
cycle. I'm not sure. No. Oh no. Yeah, no. This used to be the fast cycle for me when I used to play this chapter, because we used to play or
Oh,
this game
there we
was,
go. LP3 still got it.
Jesus, LP3, that was really close. But yeah, this game
And
has
now we
definitely
through.
optimized.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am on 150 ping on Discord.
No, it's okay, it's okay. I have to grab these ropes, grab onto the bird, and now we have arrived at auto.
Yep. Now we're at the auto gameplay. The bird will like strike down a couple of times, like break the floor below you, but you can't die here. So you
Yep.
can just, as
thing.
with every auto scroller, go grab a drink.
We have a safe spot, which is where both players are standing at the moment, but even if both players die, nothing happens. The game just continues. So we'll just carefully wait till the bird destroys the entire glass plate.
Once again, you're running out of real estate.
Yep.
It's really weird because if the bird charges through like one of the glass plates and you're standing on it, it kills you. But then once the bird does the last charge, it still goes through, like in the cutscene now, you'll see it travel through the glass plate, but you don't die for some reason.
Wow, some inconsistencies this game has.
Yes.
Shaking my head.
That was the second of the 3 parts in clock. We've arrived at the last one.
It's just a long boss fight. I mean, you're not really doing a boss fight, but you're fighting the clock, and the clock is throwing
Yes.
everything at you. Engines and gears and yeah.
Yeah, we'll see in the back. Cuckoo clock not really behaving as it should, which is what we're trying to fix.
Yeah, there is not really much you can mess with here. This is just casual play for a bit. In the next section, there's a bit of like speed tech that saves like what does it save, like a second?
Yes, something like that.
You're
We will
basically
get-
gonna be. Yeah, you can say.
Not yet, but we'll be catapulted upwards and make our way through a dropper. And if a player dies, they'll get a speed boost off. That saves a very tiny bit. Which is indeed alien tech.
What the heck, mate? What are we
Alien tech, the best tech.
Are they gonna go for it? Yes.
I think Bam is gonna go for it.
No, Bam is
Oh,
no longer
no, they're
dying.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's
No 1.5 second type save.
yeah, we should just reset at this point.
Yes. Horrible run. Can't
Horrible.
continue this. Sorry guys, marathon's over.
No, it's all good. The clock is almost done with this, I know.
Yes. Now we'll be stuck in a time loop. We'll have
Are
a
we at-
part of about 5 seconds playing over and over again, but luckily our previous versions still do the things they did.
I mean, it doesn't really matter because, well, wait, because the clock stayed destroyed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here, if you don't cooperate well, you can like go over the same clock and then just miss a cycle. But yeah, you probably know what you're doing. If you're
These two
speedrunning
have,
there.
LP and Bamford have been running together for long enough to not mess that up.
Yeah, and no one can do that ever running
No.
that. No. Why do I always do the dumbest stuff in my run? This can't happen to you for you. This
The
section.
last hard section and clock. It's a slow-mo section.
Are you okay?
This is really
Presume
cool,
they will do
guys.
the skip. Yes.
Yeah, they will go for. Oh,
Oops.
Are you okay?
little mishap by LP3, but it's fine. I think Bamford moved it a bit too soon.
Yes. So May can get onto this side of the wall, and with that you can make it onto a part that you weren't supposed to by dying, which they managed to do. There we go. And with that we immediately made it onto the second last block, and now the stone part is the last one, making it to the end.
Yep, you basically skip like half of the slow-mo section, and because it's slow-mo, it's not good for the speedrun, so...
We're indeed very happy you can skip it. We have discovered that if May were to be able to travel far enough in one go, it would trigger this last cutscene. But we haven't found a way to do this faster than just doing what LP3 and Bamford just did. But there is hope to find the skip here at some point.
Well, it wouldn't even save that much time, really. It's a pretty...
It would, because it's from, well, the start of this sub-chapter, right?
Wait, the start
it's
of
not just the slow-mo section.
Oh, wait,
soon
yeah.
as the start.
No, never mind. Yeah, I know what you mean. Never mind. I thought you meant the small slow-mo section, but yeah, you mean the clip by Big Man. Yeah.
When the speedrun.
Let's get moving.
They are doing speedrun.
Oh, they're going for the tree. They're insane. Well, I mean, it's been normalized more, right? To do this tree stuff.
Yes.
They're going for the safe tree strut.
There we go. We've seen... We've completed the first chapter. We've moved on to Snow Globe, which I think is for both Dory and I our favorite chapter to speedrun.
Yeah, it's the only chapter to speedrun, really.
It definitely looks like a pretty cool level.
Yes. The fun part about speedrunning this is that nearly every single checkpoint requires both people to be there, meaning that you can't get carried by your partner, right? Because if you're running with someone who's way better than you, and he or she manages to get to the to like one of the further checkpoints, and then you reload the checkpoint. You can continue with both of you, but in Snow Globe that's not possible. So both of you have to be good enough.
There is only one part where you like split up, and there is one harder section and one easier section. It's not in this sub-split yet though, so we'll talk about it when we get there. Right here, they're just going through the entire winter village where you're supposed to ring 3 big bell towers, but it turns out that you can kind of just skip all 3 of them and, you know, go somewhere you're not supposed to. Oh, LP3's getting up there? Okay, never mind.
Bamford and LP3 went out of bounds very slightly, but they're back in bounds already.
Let's pick one and get started.
Wait,
Just
where
to
is
make it
LP3?
past the...
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought they were going to the right. I was like,
No.
Is this some new
Here,
tech?
they're trying to get on top of the house and over, meaning they're back out of bounds. Here we go.
There's not really a part here you can...
Both people are out of bounds now.
You can't really mess anything up really badly here, like you don't have to like restart the sub-chapter, but you can like fall down some places here. But it seems like they're going pretty good. Yes. There's also a trigger
out of bounds and not dark.
Sorry?
This out of bounds segment isn't so dark, huh?
No, it absolutely isn't, but it's not where you're supposed to be. So it is out of bounds.
It still doesn't count as inbound, even though there are textures loaded. Also, they are supposed to hit a trigger there, like a bit earlier. If you don't hit the trigger, you can't enter the bobsleds they're about to. And if you can't interact with the bobsleds, you can't skip the towers, so you need to get the trigger down. It's pretty precise, I would say. because I can't get it most of the time.
Go. Both players managed to flip through the ground. And now we're on to, I think, the last semi-auto-scroller part of the game.
Auto-scroller for one player. Again.
Yeah. But I mean, even the second play, I think if both players do nothing, it still is approximately as fast.
Yeah, you miss like 2 speed boosts, I think, if you don't do anything. Potentially 3, but one I'm not sure if it even speeds you up. The one like after this part, you like go to the right.
Yeah, but it's not
Yeah,
necessary. It doesn't save anything.
Oh, it doesn't. But I wasn't sure.
But with these bobsleds, we're finishing the second of the 4 parts in Snow Globe already.
It's a fast chapter. It's like the world record is like what, 10 minutes something.
10 minutes and 35, if I can remember correctly.
Coming up next is it depends on what strat you do, but if you do the strat that's a bit difficult, it's a run killer, but I think they're gonna go for the safety strats.
Probably.
It's not quite as difficult. There's a jump
about...
where you like...
Yeah, you go for it.
No, there's a jump where you need to hit like a specific pixel, at like a specific like angle or something in a wall, and if you hit it, you can get a jump reset. And then you need to hit another jump reset. Sometimes, and sometimes you do it, but it's hard. But you can also just go a bit further, and there is a bigger wall you can climb. That's way easier.
Yes, it's about 15 to 20 seconds slower, but you can't mess it up. Which in a full game run, and definitely for marathons, it's way safer.
Well, you say
Thank
you
for
can't
the
mess
raid.
it up. Oh, someone raided. Oh.
Yes, we got a raid of 5 people. Just much appreciated.
Yeah, you say you can't mess up the wall climb, but I think in a run we us two have done, I have messed up the wall climb before.
Oh, well, of course you
Yeah.
have messed up the wall climb. You can mess up everything, right?
If you aren't sentient, you can mess it up.
Here we go. LP3 managed to make it out of water. Bamford having some issues.
Yeah. If
Oh,
you don't get
LP3
it...
is actually gonna go for it. Oh,
No,
never mind.
no,
He's doing
the reverse. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Bamford's up as well.
Yes.
Now we see, will Bamford go for it? So here you split up, one person goes through an underwater out of bounds kind of water section where you don't really see that much, but there's... unlucky. There's visual indicators, so you always know where to go. And meanwhile, the other person is gonna be climbing up a big wall. This is the safe wall to climb, by the way, so they shouldn't have any trouble with this.
Yes.
Yep, there we go.
In this part, the subchapter consists of fixing a candy factory, and for that we have to repair 3 separate machines. And 2 of them can be done by 1 player by obviously going out of bounds, as you can see both players do now. And it's the important part is that the one that Cody is doing right now needs to be fixed first in order to save most time. Because it gives you a reset at a different point. So you can see the LP3 is here gonna wait to finish his. We're gonna first see Cody finish his, and then afterwards May will ground pound the button and both will be done.
He took that jump really slowly, I thought he was gonna make it.
Yeah, but you can fall off, which is
it
bad.
can happen. They should be fine though.
Yes. Cody's spinning the wheel. It's not too much further. There we go. And now that Cody's done, May will ground pound the button. They will reset to the checkpoint. You can see in front of them, they'll have 3 tubes, and the left and the right one will be spinning, have spinning candy in them already. And now together they're gonna fix the last one.
Yep, they basically need to pick up a big branch and traverse past a big annoying fish, because... Oh wait, did someone die, or is the camera just die?
Already.
Yeah, the fish is totally.
The fish is
sometimes.
close to the worst part in the game.
It's fine for me. He's nice to me. Just
Fish
sometimes he
either
messes
really
with me.
hates you or really likes you. There is no in between.
Right now, LP3 died one time, but if that's all for a marathon, that's really good.
Yes.
You need to basically fix 3 bolts with your wrench, and then you can checkpoint reset. Oh, the fish is being such. It's such an annoying little guy.
No one died. Heading
Yeah,
for the
that's-
second of 3 screws. The third one we don't actually have to rotate. The third one, just getting the wrench on top of it is enough. Because the game thinks it's enough, apparently.
Oh no, the wrench is having a mind of its own. Honestly, I wouldn't know how to fix this if I were in that situation. I would just let you do it, probably.
Go. Wrench on top of the screw.
Yeah, I guess it rotates.
One more. But as said, they don't have to actually rotate this one. You'll see that they just drop the wrench
So
on top of
annoying.
the last screw and then reset the checkpoint. And then we have
and
another
then-
really hard part in the game, same as in Cuckoo Clock, which is equally called Hold Right.
Again, if you have your phone nearby, you can just put it down on the seat.
Take a small
No, wait.
break.
Well, actually, you need to press E at the end of it. But then
Well, but
Cuckoo
it's
was
at the
same.
end. You also have to press E at the
Yeah,
end
yeah.
of the previous
I know,
one.
I know. I realized as soon as I said it. The wrench is not having a good day.
Here we
It
go.
didn't want to
They made
cooperate,
it.
but neither is fine.
Gonna run up the. Well, first spin one wrench. Then we're gonna run up the tower. By simply holding right.
Yep, and this should be the end of the second sub-chapter. Now my
Third.
least favorite part. Wait, this is... Oh yeah, this is already the one where they go on the rudder. I am dumb.
Yes.
And
We
then
have
they go
one
into
left.
the last one. Yeah.
Almost there.
I don't know if I like or dislike the next one. I don't like the first part, but the last part's cool. You need to like the cool magnet jumps.
Yes.
So right now...
We also haven't seen too much of it yet, but in Snow Globe we have another gimmick, but this time it's the same for both players. Both get half of a magnet, and you can use that magnet to pull red or blue things, or push them, depending on your own color, obviously. Here both players already went out of bounds. We're gonna do a big descent on a mountain.
Yeah,
But
Bam is actually cracking. Did you see his
yes,
jump up the
Spam
hill?
is really fast. LP3 might still pass him though. They're really close together now. They're trying to head right, but they first have to make it all the way past an invisible box. There we go.
No, they can just use the slide mechanic. It goes a bit faster than just doing dashes.
Soon you'll be able to actually see this is out of bounds again, because this still looks nice, the environment, but in the back you can already see that there's a lot of things not loaded in due to us traveling here at the time we're not supposed to.
Exactly, this section takes a while and then bounce. But here it's just the one simple descent downwards, and now they're already basically at the end. Just have to walk on an invisible floor.
We have a massive black void here, because nothing is loaded in.
It's not really a void though, there's like a floor.
Well, yeah, there is a floor, but you can't see it. Not properly.
Yeah, I guess. Oh no, wait. Huh?
Oh, they missed the trigger. Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's see, are they
Yeah,
gonna try run around and hope they hit it? Oh, there we go. They still hit it.
Nice. That was really close.
job
They were
on
like,
them.
yeah, that was actually sick. I wouldn't know what to do there.
Yes, there is no visual cue for it, so if you have a lineup for it, you can usually hit it, but it's no guarantee. Because you don't have a visual guarantee.
I mean, you kind of do with like the corner you're supposed to jump into.
Well, yeah, but there's if you want to go fast, then you can try go more to the right with the risk of missing the trigger.
Yeah, why would you want to go fast and speed from there? Did he go for Kaleidoscope? Oh,
Yes.
one of them does.
LP3 makes this. No.
Ooh, really close. Can
So
basically-
LP3 tried to go for a very fast strategy, which is hard to pull off, and Bamford went for the same safe route. And as soon as Bamford now gets up this rail, which is where LP3 would have gotten to, we'll have a death warp, meaning that since LP3 now died, he respawns where LP3 is at, where Bamford's at.
Yep, you can easily time that death warp. There's like a noise when the checkpoint loads in. So
Yes.
it might look weird, but it's not that difficult. If you time it
Yeah.
well, though, you can do it before the sound. Oh yeah?
Yes.
Sorry?
We're now making it into the very last section of Snow Globe. Where now both me and Cody get the chance to also attract magnets towards each other.
Easy now, Magnet.
They do this very safely, which I don't mind for a marathon. It's understandable.
There we go. Both people traveling towards each other.
They just use the
You hear that, Mag?
magnets a lot here. Then do they go for this? Yeah, right?
We should stay close.
Okay,
to each
yeah,
other.
we do.
Oh, but they're... Oh, this is no longer needed. You can see Bamford going out of his way to go hit a checkpoint.
Can I get a ride?
But it doesn't lose too much time not doing this. Or, well, doing this. Here we
Yeah, I
go.
was about to
Managed
say
to make it on top of the wall.
Ooh. Yep.
And now we're running straight toward the end.
Yeah, that one did about as well as it could have.
Yes, was really fast.
It was a pretty good snow globe time, not really much that went wrong there.
Nope.
Only the fish part.
Yep. Now we have 2 chapters left in the game.
We still gotta go to the garden, and then we gotta go
Yes.
upstairs. Wait,
Now
I'm not-
we've
that-
with completing Snow Globe, we have earned back
You got this, right?
a second letter piece.
what are they? Oh wait, you can get it
Go.
on top of there?
Yes.
I didn't know.
With
Obviously.
with completing the Snow Globe, we've earned back the second letter piece, and now for the third and fourth piece, we're gonna discover passion again, because they've lost the passion in their relationship. So first, we're gonna discover Cody's passioning, Cody's passion, which is gardening.
Looks quite ugly.
So for that, we obviously travel towards the garden.
We need to get rid of it.
They don't even go for the hardest jump in the game here, or what?
No, my only contribution to this game. They
Wait,
don't
did you
do it.
discover the jump?
No, but I improved it.
Oh, Puggy.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah, I mean, this is still fine what they do here. They, it doesn't lose any time. There's just like 2 ways to go out of bounds here, and this one takes a bit longer.
But it's
But it's
easier
all
for most
good.
people.
Hey, why
Yep,
don't you just
here we
jump
go.
right
Bam got it.
in? Be one
Yes,
with your garden.
Safety strat.
can help May over.
Well, it's not really safety because it doesn't lose any time, because maybe you have to make it over anyway. There's all the hitboxes on these plants, like these thorn thingies you can stand on that weren't intended because of the slide jump. So
Yes.
this chapter gets broken open a little bit. Where is LP3 going?
It's traveling on top of the wall.
Oh yeah, wait, I only know one way to do this, but I suppose there could be more ways.
There we go.
Yeah. They should both be getting this. should be pretty easy. The hitboxes on the bushes are large.
Yes. And now we'll feed this plant water and load into another boss fight. But luckily, it's yet another boss fight we can skip. Somewhat.
Well, yeah, it's called skipping the boss fight if you don't fight the boss.
Also one of the few cutscenes in the entire game which we can't skip.
Unlucky.
Enjoy the cutscene.
Whack some weeds, Cody.
This is the last you're gonna see of this boss.
Yes, because we're just gonna entirely ignore it. There we go.
Hold it down, Cody.
Okay, bam. Oh, I got really close.
Let's see, can they make it over? It's pretty hard. Do you have a backup strategy too?
There we go.
There we go.
I think
LP3 made it. Yeah, they both need to do it.
I need to kill a thingy here.
I'm sure Bamford can do it too.
Yeah, of course. Oh, wow. The boss was not cooperating there at all.
There we go. Bamford
Okay.
made it too.
Pretty clean. Now we do not need to fight the Brawler.
Nope.
I totally remembered that name and didn't just read it off the top. I mean, if you don't fight him, why should you be able to come by his name? Or her.
Purple crap coming up.
Yeah.
We're gonna need some
Unassumed gender of the Brawler.
I've got the knack for it by now.
Yeah, you do.
Very true.
Thank you for helping me out.
Here is a cool jump you can do.
Yes.
How does it work? Like, look at the momentum they get. I don't get it. But
Basically, when you jump off of a wall, you get big momentum. That's how it works.
no more info needed.
Yes. Oh, also, we haven't explained the gimmicks of this chapter yet. So, Cody has gotten a plant on his head, which he can use to grab onto things or hit things from afar. And May, in order to help Cody with gardening, has gotten a scythe and a water gun to help grow plants. And specifically, May's scythe is very useful in this chapter because if you scythe up a sloped platform, it immediately sends you upwards, I presume. Yes, there we go. You can see LP3 showing it off.
Good timing.
Sadly,
on that.
Cody can't do that because Cody doesn't get a scythe. LP3 showing it off again. Use of the scythe is very nice.
There's a couple of spots where it's just a tiny bit easier to just be able to automatically go up the platform by pressing one button.
There's also a couple spots where it's just plain faster if you're playing as May.
Yeah, true.
Assuming both runners play perfectly, of course.
No, this area, I don't think you're supposed to be in this area.
No,
It looks
well,
a
you're
bit
supposed to
weird.
be here. You're not supposed to be here now.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be here yet. It looks a bit wacky.
Yes.
But in a bit, they will be able to hit a checkpoint and then checkpoint reset, and then everything will look normal again.
Yes. We're heading
Yeah,
towards a checkpoint. There's gonna be a lot of dying here, but I can assure you that all of the dying here is intentional.
Most.
No, all of the dying here is intentional.
Oh yeah, wait, actually. I mean, you can like bonk your head into like a death plane somewhere here, I
Here
guess.
we go.
Because I
LP3 hit the last checkpoint by dying, and now they're gonna reset.
no,
Or not.
they're not. Wow, I
Yeah,
haven't
because they
seen.
both made it.
Okay, I guess so. But now it looks weird.
We
You
were
think
promised in the last run LP3 and Bamford did for this event. They showed off a new strat they found, even though it was slower, and we were promised another one. around the same area, which should be coming up soon. So I'm curious to see what I came up with. It should be here. Let's see. Oh. I did not know you could do that, but that works.
And now they usually you fight off like the monsters there, and then you can fill up the thingy. But I don't think they're gonna be fighting the plant monsters over there.
This might honestly save time, because you don't have to wait for it. Like you don't have to make it over. Now you're already here.
Yeah, exactly. As Cody, it doesn't really matter.
No.
But as May, you should usually get up those plants. But now you already have done that. That's cool.
It is.
That cutscene looked really wacky.
Yes. Here we go. We made it to trespassing. This chapter is well, we're fully underground in the garden. The garden is infested with moles. And we're trying to not wake up the moles in order to, well, have them not kill us, preferably.
Yeah, you're supposed to like traverse past them and like go onto some leaves, like sneak around them. But you can also go out of bounds, and well, you still have to sneak. But there won't be any moles. Bamford messed it up just at the end.
I don't think May's glitched.
No, I
think LP3 is again hoping for Bamford to do the trick.
Yeah, I think so too. It would have disconnected them already, otherwise. I think. Or it's a long disconnect, I wouldn't be sure. I think they should be fine though.
There we go. Bamford made it out of bounds.
No, there's...
It's again a really dark section. Here you'll see we have the bar showing up in the middle. If it gets too high, it means we're making too much noise and we might wake up the moles.
But it's really, what should I call it? It's very forgiving. Like, even if you get it into the red all the way and like the entire meter goes red, you can still do like a single jump and it should be fine.
Yes.
But yeah, slow and steady, and you should be fine here. This OB isn't really challenging, I think.
No, Bamford's doing perfectly fine. We're also nearly done with the sneak section.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, he didn't get the slide jump, I think.
That's okay, he still made it.
Yep.
Here we have a twerking mole. Unfortunately, if you go touch the twerking mole, you die. So you have to resist the urge to touch the twerking mole, which is very hard, I have to admit.
I was gonna make a joke there, Wayne. Yeah,
luckily Bamford managed.
He managed to hit the hardest skip in the game.
Yeah, he managed not to hit the twerking mole, which is important.
I guess so, yeah. This OB should be going fine.
Yes.
Yeah, you basically skip all of the mole sections. It makes like a cutscene look kind of funny.
Yes. You're supposed to normally run on the parts you can see below us, where you again get chased, this time by moles.
Another chase section? What?
What? Chase sections?
No, Cody should be getting back in there.
There we go. And Cody shall fall through this hole, and then we're back in bounds. And May's camera will also move.
Yeah, doing this section as a May is weird, right? If you like,
that's a great suggestion in chat. I agree. We can twerk along with the twerking mole instead of touching the twerking mole.
Actually, Giga Brain. I mean, we have some downtime right here.
Yes.
Look, Cody's already kinda going for some kind of movement. I don't know what he's doing, but now the balls collide here. They will kind of phase through each other because we messed with the way you're supposed to play. But it's fine. We're on to Frog Pond, right? Yeah, okay, there we go.
Yes.
Now we got the little cute froggies with us.
Will they go for Flying Frog? Oh yeah, no, that's not allowed. Never mind. Flying Frog is not allowed.
Yeah, let's do a minigame warp at the end of the round.
Flying Frog is only allowed in any percent. This is out of bounds.
I think they just play the game normally here for a bit.
Yes.
I mean, I like the frog movement. It's fun as long as you don't have to get up on an invisible wall.
Yeah. See that both players are using their frog just to move through till the poisonous lake, where we need both players and both frogs.
I might try that downward frog one day.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's any way to do this faster in OOB, right?
No, there's not. Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, that's basically the thing with this game. If there isn't a stretch for something, it's probably just not there yet. Oh, this is bad.
Yes,
Giga
this is full
bad.
reset.
Yep, you have to do the entire slow section again. That's unlucky. But, still okay. I mean, a lot can go wrong. I mean, it's
More
not the
time.
end of the world.
More time with the frogs.
Exactly, it's some quality time.
Yeah, we have to say goodbye to them at some point, so the longer we can stretch that, the better.
True. I think... Nah, we still have a tiny bit left to go, but I don't think Frog Pond's necessarily a long split.
No. It's
Wait,
longer
do you,
move than it is in any percent.
do you do the spiders here?
No, the spiders we've already passed.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't know. I've played this once casually.
So here, Cody's trying to climb a tower. May's gonna help him by making sure the platforms are above the poison.
How do these platforms work? Shouldn't the poison still be like kind of dripping off of them?
I don't
Look at
know.
the frog. You have to look in his eyes. Yeah, that was pretty good. Only
Yes.
pretty unlucky with the death at the end of the slow section.
We'll make it to the end of Frog Pond, and then we only have one part in Frog Pond left, but somehow it still covers half the time of Frog Pond.
Garden's looking vibrant.
Oh
Because
yeah,
we have a
so
really long fight in that game.
We've still got some infection left, though.
wait,
We still have some weeds to whack.
I am so confused. Wait, are you talking about the boss fight after this?
Yes.
Is that
the
still
fight
in
with
Frog
Joy.
Pond?
No, it's not a Frog Pond, but it's a
Oh,
garden.
okay. I thought you said it was the last part of Frog Pond. I was so confused.
No.
Yeah, it's a really long boss fight. It's longer than Moomaboon, right? Like a lot
Yes, it is. It is for sure.
longer. Oh yeah, first we need to get to the fight. There is still
That one looks the silliest so far.
a couple of sections left. There's this one where you do a big climb. Oh,
Oh no.
that's unlucky by LP3.
You can see one of Cody's other powers, which you haven't really seen yet. On the patches of dirt that May watchers, Cody can get into the ground and transform into whichever plant she watered. In this case, a mushroom that May could use to bounce up.
Casually use a lot of those plants, but here we really only use it here and then in the end of the boss fight, or well, in every bit of the boss
Yeah,
fight.
we use it here too.
Oh yeah, wait.
Here, we're not, well, in the next dirt patch, here we're first trying to get onto the rail, which is easier for May than it is for Cody.
Oh,
I barely missed it.
I can ready up the sword or the.
There we go.
Granta.
Here Cody will transform into a plant. We'll try to cover the entire patch of dirt with flowers.
Yep, and then some enemies spawn. You fight the enemies, and you do the same on the other side. And then that's the end of the section. Oh, there's you can miss like a little spot, and then it doesn't work for some reason. Unlucky. Oh, there. You can, I think, potentially kill those big guys in one cycle when they're down.
It is possible, but I don't think we found a way to do it consistently yet. We have very occasionally gotten indeed a one cycle. It has happened. But
Then
I
again,
don't think anyone did it consistently yet. Oh no.
Yeah, oh, what's happening? Okay, there we go. It's fine. Yeah, it's also just one enemy. Like, it appears, what, 4 times?
Yes.
So, the time save would be negligible to practice it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, at some point this run might be as optimized, where you have to go for one cycle fight.
Who knows?
There we go.
But this game is still pretty young.
Yeah, they'll release
so it's
like in when did it get released? Like March this year?
Yeah, something like that.
It's come a long way already.
Oh yeah, for sure. But at the same time, we still get like new small time improvements more or less every other week.
Yeah. Crazy how much there is still to explore. I think, wait, what was I gonna say? I literally forgot what I was gonna say. Holy shit. Okay, it's 2 AM. Yeah, I'm not awake. But, yeah. Now, coming up is the long boss fight we were talking about just now. It is supposed to hit it from that far.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is indeed.
Tricky.
Here we're gonna try fight Joy. It was a flower that Cody planted back in the days, basically to make sure that Joy would always be part of their lives. And then he kind of forgot about it, so the plant is now infected with a parasite,
I wonder
which
what
they're trying to cut out.
I wonder what the underlying
really nice
message.
gesture.
Yeah, it was really nice gesture, but you forgot about the joy.
Yes.
Yeah, you just find a lot of. Are these? They're not the same enemy as the Brawler, but they look a lot similar like it.
They look similar. They just have a different attack pattern.
They didn't like dash at you. And here Cody turns into Joy, and it's very unsettling if you play this casually, in my opinion. Because it's like, he's talking with Cody's voice, but he has like, Joy's ahead, and it just doesn't fit. Oh, there we go, check the reset. Yeah, there's a lot of phases in this boss fight. You have like dodge.
Yes, there's 5 in total.
Dodge more plants.
They've completed 1.
Maybe some more plants at the end.
The first, third, and fifth we're trying to cut a part of the parasite part out of Joy.
Wait, but they're destroying their Joy. Isn't that a bad
No, they're
thing?
destroying the parasite inside of Joy. That's
Yeah, but they're still hurting the Joy.
Nah.
This
wouldn't happen. Not these guys.
No, they never do anything to take away joy from people, destroy their plushies. Nah.
No, wouldn't be the case.
Believe the people to die. Nah. What? Wait, what else have they killed? The vacuum cleaner, the toolbox.
Yeah, more or less everything we've met in this entire game.
No, we didn't kill the frogs.
That's true. We didn't kill the frogs.
Look at the Cody cam, you can see it. Bam like
didn't see
zoomed into he zoomed into the face. I think Potato Cody is arguably the best Cody.
Yes. The
Actually,
potato.
I'd say it's hard because Mushroom Cody has like you only see him from the top of your plate. If you go look underneath, he has like a little face.
Yeah,
Great.
every single Cody transformation has a face.
Actually,
Going back in
great.
for Joy. I think I'm getting through to her.
Here we go. We're about to complete the third phase of the fight with Joy.
Then there's only two more. There's one where they dodge plants, and there's one where they fight plants.
Yes.
But I'm gonna do what's best for you.
Here we're gonna cut a parasite out of the back.
There we go.
Then we only have the one on her head left.
It's really just chopping someone's head off. This isn't safe. for
No,
work.
we're not chopping her head off.
Well, you're chopping it in the head with the. What is this? Is it
We're
the side?
only cutting the parasite. We wouldn't dare hurt Joy.
Wait, in the end credits, right? Do we still see Joy? Because you can see like the vacuum cleaner. They
Yeah,
didn't
we
die.
do see Joy. Joy does
Okay.
appear in the end credits.
Okay, so we didn't really kill Joy.
No, we don't kill Joy.
This is really cool. I like this section. My casual.
Yeah.
Basically, the plants are gonna break the plates. As you can see, the one on the bottom left is already pretty messed up. And they will just keep getting rid of platforms until finally, you know, Joy could just hit one platform and both of you, but instead she decides to not. Sometimes I wonder with the game, but I guess you can complete the game if you're dead. The phase is about over.
Yes. With that, we'll have one more phase left.
The slow-mo to dodge. What happens if you don't dodge? Do you just start
You
the
die.
section over? Yeah, well, yeah. I know you die. But does it restart yet the section?
If both the layers die, yes. Here we go.
Okay.
Lemon Cody for the last part.
Is that a line?
Yeah, it is a line. Yes, it is a line. My
I
bad.
was like, no, it's fine. I was like, in my head, I was like struggling. I was like, is that a lemon? Is that a lime? Is that a
No, it is absolutely a lime.
I mean, why can an orange be called orange and a green not be called a green? I'm shaking my head.
Yeah. I mean, was an orange called an orange because it has the color orange, or was the color orange called orange because it has the color of an orange?
What came first, the chicken or the egg? You tell me.
This is it. I can feel us breaking through.
You're
I
getting.
don't know.
This is the commentary you see for.
I asked the confusing questions here, not you. That's not fair.
My bad. I think orange was called orange because there was orange, you know?
Thank you for your
Input, yeah.
input.
Now you get it.
Thank you, science side of Tumblr.
Sometimes I need to bestow my knowledge onto,
There we go.
you know, the common man. Not everyone has this brain blast I do.
We've
But
destroyed
serious.
the last parasite and Joy, finishing Garden along with it. Meaning we have one chapter left.
Yep, and it's usually, well, it depends on what category you play. If you play any percent, this is 6 minutes long. If you, or else 7 minutes long. If you play OB, this is like double that, I think, right?
More.
More than double?
It's more than double.
Shoot.
Because if you play any percent, you manage to skip 2 out of 4 sub-chapters.
So that's basically double, you know?
This sub-chapter is probably my most favorite casual sub-chapter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trade it anytime.
I mean, it's
Purely because only purely because of the music and the vibe this gives.
Yeah, this goes crazy hard. Like the singing as well. It reminds me a lot of
Yes.
Transistor, if you've played that.
I have not.
It's by the people that made Hades and Bastion, those guys. Oh, can they... Okay, yeah, there's a checkpoint there, I didn't know.
Yes. So in the last chapter, in Garden, we discovered Cody's passion, where his passion was gardening, and now we're rediscovering May's lost passion, which was singing. And for that, the gimmicks this time is that May has obviously has her singing voice. She can use it to either charm some things or do a powerful scream and use it as a kind of projectile. And Cody, in the meantime, gets a symbol, which he can either use as a projectile or as a shield,
You think it's still
both of which will be used.
Small tech there, if you let Cody pick up 2 of the coins, it's a bit faster because Cody's pickup animation is a bit faster.
Yes.
But
Things we do for speed.
Yeah, it only saves like 0.2. But I mean, hey, if we combine it with the 0.3 from earlier, it's already half a
That's
second.
true, it's half a second.
Hey! It has an antenna on it. I bet it's connected to your microphone.
Here we go. Cody picking up a speaker. We're trying to destroy a jukebox here.
Yeah, these jumps are finicky, I remember from when I used to play this. Oh,
Bamford's
that's
managing.
pretty well. There we go.
Very nice.
Skipping the entire section. It kinda lags there too. Opting to put the speaker in the right spot instead of putting it like where it's not supposed to go. You can
Now
put
we
it
turn
like
up the volume all the way in order to
Oh, no.
destroy the speaker.
that was
There
a
we go.
tiny bit early by
It's
My
okay,
update
that's not too much time loss.
no.
Cody very
Oh.
shortly should use the shield. There we go. Managed to get through the lasers. Normally you would have to let May through too, because she'd be able to pass behind you. But for speedrun strats, we don't need May.
This is
May
the one
isn't
part where
necessary.
Cody can do his thing.
Yes. This is one of the only parts in the game, and the any percent or oop runs, where Cody is the only one able to do something.
I mean, it's just a better character, what can I say?
Yeah. But with the new category we're adding, Cody actually has things to do, which is pretty cool.
Like this. I still haven't looked at it yet, but it looks cool. Is it all checkpoints or 100%?
It's 100%, meaning you have to get all the checkpoints, you have to get all the mini games, and you have to get all the achievements.
Oh yeah.
But with that means that in most of the sub-chapters there is so much things to do. So both people have to do things at the same time in order to do it fastest.
I see.
So Cody players can't hide behind being bad anymore.
I got it.
They have to actually learn the game.
Rude, disrespectful.
I play Cody, what are you talking about?
Well,
I'm
wait.
allowed to say this.
Yeah, I guess so. I only play with you when I play Cody, so yeah. You're taking it slow and steady here. You can like, if you're playing controller, like each joystick separately moves the platforms. If you play on mouse and keyboard, it's really confusing, in my opinion. What do you mean no?
Well, I said no because LP3 died.
I was about to say, wow, this is so dangerous. Just move it down a bit because yeah, that can happen. This section actually.
I hate this section even in casual.
Yep, this took a while.
There we go. LP3 opting to wait,
Oh.
which I'd say is the smart decision.
Why did he jump at the end there? If you hit that at the top, I think you still die. Not sure though. It's been too long since I played Attic.
There we
There we go. Now don't checkpoint reset here. Okay.
Think so.
Here we'll see a bit more of May's singing voice.
Ooh,
She can use it to charm the snake microphones.
I thought LP3 was gonna do the really cool thing where you like climb the snake while singing, but it's it looks hard.
It is.
Here again, you're like supposed to turn this platform around twice to get over, but just because of the side jump, you can just skip that bit. It's funny how much you can skip with side jumping. Like you don't notice it if you're just looking at the game for the first time.
Yeah. The game is absolutely not built for slide jump to exist, but it does, and speedrunners are thankful for that. Because it makes the game infinitely shorter.
It's literally a 0-second run now.
Not that infinitely.
You're literally doing a Clue speed run. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, Clue speedruns are amazing.
Ooh, did you do the cool death abuse in a bit? Or did they?
We'll see.
I don't know where exactly it is. I just
Let's
know
go. We have another chase section.
What? No way.
Original content. They do.
Gotta look at the bottom right, I think. Yeah, there we go. If there is a saving there, you made it, and you skip a bunch of needless gameplay. It's just running away from the snake.
Well, we're technically now still running away from the snake.
Well, yeah, but you skip a bit of running away from the snake.
Yeah, that's true. And now, for a change, we're gonna kill it, because, well, we haven't killed too much in this game yet.
Yeah, this time we actually chop its head off.
Yes, we're gonna clean cut off, French guillotine style.
But it's fine, it's just a cable, you know.
It's just a cable. Cables can have feelings too.
A parent playing off. Look at the Jesus Christ! It's so brutal. I haven't seen it in a while. This is very fun, casual place, in my opinion. You can like hit these pads, and they can like turn the background music into a cool song. Everything makes a different noise. I spent a solid like 40 minutes there, just toying around with it. Yeah.
That does sound pretty fun.
It is. It absolutely is.
You didn't even get to the painting. Wait, when do you get the paint? Where is it? It's in Rose's room, right?
It's in Rose's room in Once Upon a Time.
Oh no, my internet died.
Oh no, that's not great. You're still here for us. Dory gone. Dory appears to be gone.
Okay, I'm back. Oh. Hello, my internet.
Dory has returned.
Yeah.
It only died for a quick second, huh?
Yeah, that was okay. Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I was, because I am on like my not so good laptop right now. I was afraid it would crash at least like 5 times during commentating, but it appears
not a single time so far.
Yep.
There we go. And with flicking this switch, we've completed the first part of Attic. So as mentioned, we're trying to discover or rediscover May's passion for singing, and for that we have to set up a concert.
You're going for a chess skip?
Oh, you're gonna play chess?
No, they're
boy.
going for a chess skip. This is advanced tech. Are they actually gonna play a chess game?
They appear to be.
You're not supposed to be doing this in the round. By the way, it seems that they're
The Maiden 3. Beautiful.
You're
or
crazy.
all Maiden 2.
That's you don't see that on Pog Champs. Only here.
It was beautiful. The people who don't, for the people who don't know, there is actually a maid that's faster. You can do 1 move faster. This was a total of 5 moves, of which 3 from white and 2 from black. But you can finish a game with 2 moves from white and 2 moves from black, where black wins instead.
There we go. You can cross now.
Mr.
Come on,
Chest expert over here.
Absolutely.
Oh, what's that machine?
Looks like some kind of accordion.
This guy looks so
Those blasts.
scary.
Hey,
Does he have a face? I didn't. Wait, Bamford is going for this so long. Oh yeah, well, it doesn't really matter.
Yes,
I guess.
because as soon as you make it up this accordion, there's a checkpoint. This was another nice example of Cody getting to use his shield. You're supposed to make it through with both players because Cody's shield is big enough for both of you. But as you can see, it's not required.
Nope. It seems required in the casual run though. I struggled a lot with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you play this with a casual player and they don't know what forward is, it's a
You see these floating notes all around?
Okay, now we're in Symphony. Well, we already were, but this is the fun part. It's a bit
Yes.
RNG, I think.
like an angel in
Yeah,
heaven.
There's
both players
two-
got a jetpack.
Yeah, they both get a jetpack. They have to collect some musical notes, and then they go into 2 rooms. One with like a lot of demon flying whatever guys. I don't know.
Yeah,
What are
that's
they?
the first one they're doing now.
Oh, sorry.
And one with clouds that you. Of course, you're gonna make them cry because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
me and Cody.
Go devil.
So here there's a bunch of demons flying around and 2 of them are holding a key, which you can see by the golden trail. You're trying to collect both. Unfortunately, even after you grab the key, demons can come and sweep it again. Which
Yep.
makes this very RNG. Either you get the key really quickly or it takes forever.
LP3 got so trolled there.
Yep.
He had it. And,
On one of my playthrough, I killed all but 2 demons before I got the key to the lock.
oh, I killed all of them. My casual playthrough. Because I was in character, you know. I was pretending like I was me and Cody. Wreaking havoc as much as I can. This was very unlucky.
Yes, but they
They-
still
they
got
got-
both keys in the end.
Yeah. Well, can you not wait? Is there a world where you don't get both keys?
No.
Okay, the demon just flies off. It's a
Here
weird
we're
way
trying
they're.
to...
they're
So in the first part, the jazzy part of Attic, we gathered all the components, I guess, to have a concert. So we grabbed lights and microphones and what's the last thing they did?
Microphone lights. I don't know. They're grabbing a band now.
Yeah, a lot. Now they're trying to collect an orchestra to go along with it, and sadly they were like half of the orchestra got kidnapped into one side of the cage, and the other got captured into this one. So we saved half now, but we're trying to get the other half
Yeah, this
because
was
can't
very,
play with half an orchestra.
very clean by Bam. Got it first try. This is a bit RNG. I think
Got it again.
demons can be very troll.
Here we
No,
go.
to the left. Okay, never mind.
Very
I-
nice.
I thought Bam was one of the demons. I got so confused.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's Symphony done. There's only 2 more parts.
Yes, 2 more parts indeed.
We're well under estimated time, I think.
So, and obviously, the one most important thing to have a concert would be have a public. Because if
An
you have no one
audience, if
watching
you
it, an audience, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. So now they're trying to grab an audience.
By playing
Because
Mario Kart.
otherwise, yes.
Oh wait, we might have had to do disclose or whatever it's called. Caption that you don't watch this if you have epilepsy because this is not good for your eyes.
This is still fine. It's way better than Kaleidoscope. Let's be real.
The end of this section. Well, actually, okay, I guess it's fine, but it's a lot of flashing colors, you know.
Yeah,
Better say it one time too much than one time too little. Even if it's
that's fair.
half a minute too late.
So here we're still playing Rainbow Road. Bamford's clearly winning. Maybe LP3 can get a blue shell.
Actually gets a blue shell. Yeah, that's. Can you even do that if you? Well, you can't even race with 2 in Mario Kart. Never mind, I'm so dumb. A red shell would be enough too. There's a cool little jump you can do here as well. I don't. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
You
Both
got
make
it.
it.
Oh, nice. You don't even need to do the reset, right?
Nope.
Wait, they didn't hit the checkpoint. Okay,
That's
they did.
not needed.
No, I thought they wouldn't respawn there. I was like, oh.
There we go.
Now
Both
they need
people
to
make that.
do an OB jump here and then land at the side of the square, or well, the radius of the square. Oh no, Bamford's capped now.
Bamford's having fun.
Yeah, you basically skip a semi-auto scroller by doing this. Where you go on top of disco ball, go crazy, go stupid. All good. Now we're gonna. Well, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna like rile up the crowd? We're gonna like.
Yes.
Make
Here
them
we're gonna
wanna come
hype
to our
up the
concert.
crowds by playing some music, by DJing.
And then we're gonna suck them all up in a big tube.
Yes.
As
So
you
we
should.
lied. It's not a Dix2 speedrun. It's also not a 2D Brawler speedrun. It's actually a DDR speedrun.
True, but you only have 3 keys you can press.
Yes.
It's like a D, R. Something's missing.
It's still Dance Dance Revolution.
I mean, is it really Dance Dance? Isn't it just Dance Revolution?
No, it's Dance Dance Revolution.
Okay. The thing
Because you have
changed.
2 people dancing. It's Dance Dance.
Would it be Dance Dance Revolution?
There we go. It is Dance Dance Revolution. But I mean,
Sure.
are both Cody and May holding a revolution? Because that's important the information, right? Like they're definitely both dancing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're not doing the revolution thing. I mean, come on, they've killed literally everyone. They're coming up against the oppression of the cute elephant that was wanting to give them.
Yes.
How dare she? She thinks she is. Alright, now the DDR part is over, and we're gonna play some. What game is it even? Tony Hawk Pro Skate Race 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's safe.
Just about now. We should not
There we
forget
go.
There we go. We're gonna suck
Collecting
up
the
the
audience.
crowd.
Yes. Audience consisting of glow sticks.
You know, that's actually really sad. Come to think of it, but I mean they're kind of alive.
Wait, what are we riding on?
As long as the glow sticks are having fun and they're dancing, no one cares.
True. These boost pads don't even. Wait, in the section you like try to go for all the boost pads, but isn't it just important to not get hit by the obstacle?
Yes. So basically, inside of this cube, you have a maximum speed, which I think you reach after 4 boost pads. So after that, grabbing a boost pad doesn't matter anymore unless you hit a wall, which resets your speed back to nothing.
0. Yep. LP3 is cutting it close. Oh.
Yeah, but part of it is also desync. So if it, because I think Bamford's hosting. Pretty sure
Yeah.
Bamford's hosting.
So sometimes it might look like they get heavily done.
While they
Right.
actually do not.
Yep. This is also
Here we go.
gonna be very bright, I think.
We have one small part left. It's only grand finale.
Yep, and it's, in my opinion, one of the coolest parts in the game. You like,
Are they gonna go for the skip or not?
I hope they at least try. I mean, there's.
I mean, if they go for the skip, we won't be able to see it because we're watching Cody POV, no?
Yeah, it'll kind of be a bit laggy, but it's fine. So basically, there is a slow section at the end where you have to like slowly walk and do like a cutscene and do another cutscene. But if you mash dash and then do like some jumpies, you can actually do it like crazy movement with May. And
basically, as soon as you hit the ground, you can no longer dash or do anything.
Okay.
There we go. They got part of the skip. As soon as you hit the ground, people can no longer dash or jump. So they try use a dash or a jump before they land, and it makes sure that, like you can see Cody do here. Oh, he's going for the long skip.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh,
he's making it.
That's about as good as you're gonna get it. That's pretty good. And now we're about to be hitting time. You can't
What
really
is this
see
camera?
it. Yeah, the camera is messed up when you do this.
Because Cody landed it.
Yeah, you can't really see it, but they're gonna do a kiss.
They're gonna kiss.
As soon as lips touch, you have to time, but I don't know when that is exactly since the camera angle.
Time will be soon.
Couple more
Lips
seconds.
are approaching. You can kind of see it in the background.
Yeah,
there we go. That's time.
It's
slightly faster than what you can see on the screen because we time in-game time, so all the cutscenes and loading times actually get, or well, not the cutscenes, but all the loading times get cut out. Still very good time from our runners.
Yep, it's a pretty good run. I think their PB is like a 230 something.
Their PB is at 229, so if you cut out the loading times, it'll be pretty close to that.
Yeah, did it really well.
I'd say so too. I presume they'll rejoin still.
I think so.
It was a very nice run.
Yep, it was a fun run. It's a fun game.
I hope the people who didn't know the game yet did enjoy too. I saw a few people in chat who we know from the It Takes Two community already tuning in. But there was a few here and there that I didn't recognize, who I now hope are more interested.
Yep, a growing community is always better. The more the merrier, I'd say.
That for sure.
I mean, we are a relatively small community still.
Yes.
We have like 50 runners. I don't know if they are going to be doing the runners.
I think they said they would, so...
Okay, we're gonna interview them. We're gonna ask them about the chess game.
Oh yeah, we have to ask about the chess game. The chess game was big brain. Didn't they have another point where they like messed around for a minute? Oh right, a trade station.
Yeah, because because they messed it up, they were like dancing.
Yeah, train station strat and chessboard strat were absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the spreadsheet. There isn't a spreadsheet for strats. There's a Google Doc,
I mean,
right?
their strat and garden might actually be faster, because that might actually save time.
Dear Mum and Dad.
Nice.
I'm sorry that I did this to you.
Alrighty.
I know how to make everything good again. All you have to
Let me
do is
quickly
stay
check with him.
I know I'm not a perfect daughter.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, we have the cutscene playing. Rose is literally running away from home. Monka W.
Yes.
Who has like an 8-year-old kid's like, yeah, I am the issue. I would just be like, give me my Pokemon cards. Actual Monka. Also, if you see, look in the background everywhere, like they were just in Rose's room, you could see like the clowns from the one section. It's pretty cool. If we get the credits roll, we can basically see everywhere where we've destroyed everyone's fun, everyone's joy.
Yes.
Can you skip this cutscene? I don't think so, right?
I am unsure, because at this point the timer is already stopped, so I don't think I ever watched this cutscene.
No. Rose, honey, it's not your fault.
Still waiting for LP3 and Bamford to potentially come in here.
Alrighty.
But I don't think they can join it themselves. We're gonna need someone to
Drag
some
them in,
staff
yeah.
to drag them in here.
If they do want to
Alright,
get in here.
I can get them in here.
Whatever happens,
Be nice.
your mom and me, we will always be there.
Should I just drag them up right now?
Yeah, you can.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
They're here.
There we go.
Congrats on your run, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's
Pretty fog. What was in-game time?
In-game time was like a 2:31:50 or something like that.
Nice.
Oh, that's really good.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah,
other than
we have to
Clockwork,
say,
other than Clockwork,
chess
I was
was
happy with
absolutely fantastic.
that.
Chess skip.
I can't believe I threw the three move mate.
Yeah.
Lucky.
He said to me about 30 minutes before the run, he's like, I'm going to teach you how to 3-move mate, and we're going to do it. I'm like, okay.
You don't know about the 2-move mate though, because you can mate in 2.
Oh, really? I actually didn't know that.
Yes, but then black wins instead.
Oh, can't have that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
I had to win. Other than Clockwork, I was happy with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you guys messed around a bit in train station too.
Yeah, he
Um,
had to pick the
It
guy
was
back
fun
up.
to watch your the new strat in Garden, because I think it might actually save time.
It
The one
possibly
where you don't
could.
restart checkpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that and we were like, wait, the cutscene works?
I mean, that you don't restart checkpoint. That's mostly dependent on like if both people make it at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, but it's mostly talking about where you do the death warp to the next part.
Yeah.
Because I think that saves time, and I at least didn't know about it.
Also the run across the wall that Bam found for the first set of bounds in Garden. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I don't think that one saves time, but it's cool.
It is.
It's been
But
a blast.
I think all around you guys did fantastic.
Thanks for commentating.
Thanks.
It was our pleasure, I think.
Yeah, it was very fun. It is late now, however, so the commentary kind of went downhill at the end of the run. We were talking about chickens and eggs, and you don't want to know.
Orange.
Oh, I'm excited to listen back to this then.
Oh no.
Thanks, the Marathon for having us too. I always love showing off this game.
Yeah, super fun.
Yes,
Foggy.
absolutely.
All right, bye, friends.
Bye.